All right, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Unfortunately, just due to the lack of news this week, we decided to cancel the Beastly Thoughts show. It's just been a slow week, and we just couldn't think of anything to talk about. So, what do you guys think?
See you guys. See you next week.
Hey guys, we're live. How's it going? Those fall flat every week. Just stop doing them.
We'll keep trying.
All right, we have a ton to talk about today. E3 was this week, obviously. We're going to talk about the Microsoft press conference. We're going to talk about Sony's press conferences, Nintendo, EA, Microsoft. We're going to argue about who won E3. I think we got a ton of different opinions here. We're also going to talk about the Destiny Alpha, the Battlefield Hardline beta, and the fact that the game cost $60. We got a ton to talk about, so tune in. Let's start off with intros. We have a ton of people here today. Beastly Gamer, why don't you say hi?
Hi. What's going on, everybody? Beastly Gamer here. It's been a very tumultuous week, man. A lot of exciting things happened, and I'm very happy to be back on the show talking to my homies and my old lady about some video games. What's happening?
9 to 5 Gamers, how you doing?
Good. Just been playing a lot of Destiny with everybody and playing Hardline and busy with kids being born and stuff. Not my own, but...
Yeah, sure. Unreal Gamers, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been playing the Destiny and Battlefield betas, well, Alpha and Beta, and you know, when you have a lot of hard work, you just want to wind down. So I bought a Wii U, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. And I just want to put a disclaimer: if you guys hear some screaming downstairs, it's not like a war; they're playing like Mario Kart. So it's like a
disclaimer to get ready
downstairs.
Kate, it's so good to see you again. What have you been up to all week?
Hey, I've just been playing The Last of Us with Brett, of course. I tried to get the Destiny Alpha, but unfortunately I didn't, and I'm really upset about that. I'm so mad.
Not too nerdy, the only member of the cast who's actually at EA or E3 this week. How you been?
Good, man. You know, a little tired from E3, but you know, I feel better now today. I was able to go out and get some game pickups, which I'm really excited to show a video for tomorrow.
I always like those videos.
A flea market, so I got some good pickups. A flea market that's been around in this neighborhood for 10 years, I was told, and it's 5 minutes from my house. I didn't know existed until now. So that's pretty much it so far.
Robbie, good to see you. How you been all week?
I've been doing really great. Just been playing a lot of the Destiny Alphas. Everybody else been a ton of fun playing the Hardline beta, and yeah, just sort of recapping all the news and awesome stuff that went down at E3.
All right. Now, I want to jump right into it because we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I mean, obviously it was a big week with E3. Let's start with Microsoft. They had the first press conference. We'll go through in order of when the press conferences happened. Microsoft, I thought, was a great press conference, especially if you compare it to last year's. Not too nerdy, you were actually in the audience turning green during this press conference. What did you think?
Literally green. First of all, I thought the presentation was like, they did a great job presentation. They did exactly what they said they're going to do, bring game after game. Now, you might have to sit there and debate if all the games were for you, if you thought that they were the biggest games, but they said they're going to bring games, and they brought games. So you can't, no one can really take that away from them. They said something, and they did it, you know? And when you're there, it was green. Like, they all had like these bracelets that lit up, and it's pretty cool because there's a DJ there, and like every single time the DJ switched to a different game or something, it'll light up, and there'll be like glows, and like there'll be different things that's going on throughout the whole thing. So it was really nice the way they presented it, and you know, I think that we'll debate to see if it was, you know, great, because I think that the presentation was good, but I think when you go to the show floor, Microsoft was lacking the games to show. So I don't know how good that is, if like any of these games are as close to being ready as they said they're going to be, because there was not even trailers being played of Halo 5 there. First of all, there's no extra trailers of it, and now the Master Chief Collection that they said that everyone's excited about, I'm excited about because I like Halo 2. They didn't even have that playable or anything there. They didn't even have like, they had like a basic trailer there. So the trailer that you saw of it, and they didn't even show it there. Like, there was nothing there. There's no one getting a chance to play it from what I saw. I was looking for that the whole time. the biggest thing there was Sunset Overdrive, and I thought that it was very fun. You know, the only thing for me personally, I was questioning if it's something I could play for hours on end in a row without getting bored of it. But I would tell you this: while I was playing it, I was having fun. So regardless of resolution, frame rates, it was fun for me. So, you know, they did bring that, but I was just wondering what else are they going to bring to the table, because they didn't even mention big games like Quantum Break. They just completely didn't mention anything, which I felt that they needed to just remind people, hey, there's another exclusive out there. Yeah. And I don't know, but they did have other games.
How about the crowd? Was the crowd getting excited? Did it seem like people were getting amped? It's hard to tell when you're watching an internet stream.
See, the thing is, too, like, I don't know if, to me, I thought it was good, but I think that it went so quick from game to game to game. Like, they didn't really give someone a chance to react to it because they already went to the next game. So, like, which is good in some aspects, but in other aspects, you want that time for people to react to, like, the transition to a game, and you sit down there and explain the games. But since they really didn't explain the games, they went into trailer after trailer and stuff like that, then it really took away from explaining the game. But like I said, like, they showed a lot of exclusives. They showed that, you know, these games are on, you know, the Xbox One. So overall, the presentation, I think, was nice, and I think everyone enjoyed the fact that they actually did something the complete opposite of what they did last year. And I think that
it seemed like they learned their lesson from last year. They didn't talk about sports. They didn't talk about TV. They talked about games, and they showed a bunch of them.
Yeah, and that's what they did. They did exactly what people asked them to do. I mean, there wasn't like I'm not saying like they had a perfect presentation. They were solid. They did what they said they're going to do, and they went out there and they had a solid presentation. So,
Robbie, you've been a self-proclaimed Sony fanboy. What did you think of Microsoft presentation? Did you get a chance to see it?
I watched every press conference during E3, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. They absolutely lived up to the promise of games. We're here for the gamers, and they did not disappoint. I really enjoyed that conference a lot. I thought it was excellent. Every moment of it was great.
Yeah. Beastly Gamer, we all know your preferences.
I'm in love with Microsoft. I got the tattoo.
I actually heard you in a video say that you might be picking up an Xbox. Like, it's time to pick up an Xbox. After
It definitely is time for us to get our Xbox One. I was pleasantly surprised with Microsoft's press conference. Phil Spencer is a very likable person. He feels like he has this feel about himself that he really cares about the games, and he brought the games. When I saw games like the Master Chief Collection, Kate and I were watching, and it was obvious you have to have that game. Games like Ori and the Blind Forest. Did you guys see that?
That game might have been my favorite game of the show.
That game there, I looked at that and I was like, wow, this has to be a game that I play no matter what. It looks phenomenal. It looks like it has a really deep story. Atmosphere looks great, and I love really good hand-drawn, worlds, and that just reminded me of the animated film by Studio Ghibli, Spirited Away. It just felt like that. Some of the games that they showed, I really like Sunset Overdrive. That game looks great, and Insomniac Games, one of my favorite Sony developers, has jumped ship because they were done wrong by Sony, and I'm really happy to see them, moving forward and becoming a more self-sustained studio and owning more rights to the franchises they develop. And so I'm really happy to see that. Sunset Overdrive looks really fun.
That was a really fun trailer too. Like, I liked how they started off with. I liked how they started it off with kind of like that standard, like, Call of Duty-ish dude kind of taking cover. And the guy comes out, cover mechanic, huh?
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think that they did a very excellent job on their games, showing off. I mean, I'm not really into Forza Horizon. That's not my cup of tea. But some of the other games they showed really did look great. It was 90 minutes of nothing but games. And who can complain about that? They didn't mention TV once. And when their press conference was over, I felt thoroughly satisfied with what's coming to the Xbox One. Of course, they didn't show any Halo 5. I mean, we all wanted to see that. They didn't show anything for Gears of War. And I'm sure that these are heavily in development, but for what I saw at this press conference, I was thoroughly surprised, and I enjoyed it. I thought that Microsoft really did a 180 on the front of video gaming versus multimedia, and I was very pleased with the press conference. I thought they did a great job, and I think Ori and the Blind Forest is a game I'm looking forward to probably the most out of all those games. but there's still lots of Xbox One games coming that I am really happy to get my hands on when they come out.
Yeah. 9 to 5 Gamers, did you get a chance to watch the press conference, and what did you think?
Yeah, I actually watched almost all of them at work. Like for the Microsoft thing, I watched that all day on my boss's iPad. We just streamed it and then had it playing through the speakers. So, but yeah, I was really excited about. Well, Sunset Overdrive is going to be an amazing game. I've been talking about that game for like ever. I was surprised. I'm with Not Too Nerdy about them not talking about Quantum Break, which that's really weird because that game, it looks amazing, it looks awesome, and they made Alan Wake such a big hype when they were talking about Alan Wake, which was their first game. So I don't see why they wouldn't have talked about it. The one thing that surprised me was them not talking about the dropped Xbox or the removal of the Kinect or any of that, because not only that, but they didn't talk about it, and they brought out like 4 games that supported the Kinect like extremely, which was cool because it's like, it's in a sense showing the Microsoft people that they're not ditching the Kinect. You know, they're not going to just leave it on the low and no games, which is good. But at the same time, nobody wants it. So.
How many consoles have they sold? They've sold like 6 million, right? At this point, Xbox with Kinect.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty close. Yeah.
No, they didn't. They
no,
still.
I don't think so.
They still didn't announce
maybe
it.
around 5.
They broke like. They still didn't even announce it yet. The last that everyone checked was under 5 million. But I mean,
it was in like April, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're assuming they must have, but no one knows for sure. They didn't even announce when they broke 5 million. They still never officially announced that yet. So like, I hope so. Like that at this pace, they should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I got a question for 9 to 5. Did you see their trailer for Halo? I mean, for Fable Legends, and for all you guys, because this game hasn't been mentioned yet.
Yes, I did.
What did you think of it?
I'm kind of, I don't know, ever since Fable 2, I kind of lost interest in it, and it's kind of intriguing me a little bit to get more into it, but I don't know, I'd have to see more of it. It seemed like they didn't show enough for me to really like, because they showed that it's co-op, I get that, that's cool, but it's like they didn't show the fighting system, none of the magic, really, any of that. They like panned out, and then it was like the end of the trailer, and I'm like, okay, well, you didn't show me shit.
That was playable first, like they let the press play that, and then when I was playing that, it just seemed like, I don't know. I still think that Fable 2 was the last good Fable. Like, to be honest with you, even after playing that and seeing it, like, it literally, playing it would just seem like this one is too heavily based on co-op, and if you don't have the co-op aspect, then it's really not going to be that fun on experience-wise. So, like, it just seems like too much to do for co-op, and it's too based on that. Without it, like, you have the computer AI, it just doesn't work to me. I think that like I said, Fable 2 was the last good one, so I agree with 9 to 5 Gamers. Like, everything you said, like from playing it, I agree with what you said.
And that's a big problem with a lot of games that rely on co-op, because if you rely so much on co-op that the game is boring as hell when you play it by yourself, you know, like there's not times where you're going to be able to play the whole game co-op, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep, agree.
Unreal Gamer, did you get a chance to watch the Microsoft press conference, and what did you think if you did?
Of course I did. I watched it. I kind of liked it. It wasn't that entertaining, but they did release some cool game trailers, like Tomb Raider. I'm really excited for. Although the Halo Master Chief Edition, I hope that they just sell Halo 2 by itself, because I'm not really interested in number 3 and I think Reach they're putting in there. But to Evolve, 4. I'm really looking forward to.
No, 4.
Oh, 4.
Yes,
1, 2, 3, and 4.
1, 2, 3. I'm just looking for 2. But Evolve, it looks so. It blows my mind, that game. And
it was really good looking. I mean, it looked stunning. The little multiplayer demo that they had, I thought was amazing. Not Too Nerdy, did they actually have that playable on the show floor? You said no, right?
For what? Evolve?
Evolve.
Yeah, they had it. They had that since PAX East. They've been letting people play that for a while now. Okay. It's a good game. I got a chance to play as a monster, but not for this one. When I was at PAX East, I played, and yeah, it's really fun. You know, it's a lot of detail into it. Like, even if you're the monster, you think you're overpowered, you don't get to that level yet. You have to kill as much creatures as you can to level up your monster on the go. Because the slower you level up your monster, if they catch up to you, you're not level up too high, they could dominate you. Like the people together, if they work as a team, they could kill you quickly. So even though you're strong and powerful, you have to level up your monster quickly. So, which is pretty cool.
How long does each game last? That's what I was thinking.
Hey, it depends on the players right there. Because you get your monster pretty high, a high level, and you get to decide what you want him to do. Jumping ability, do you want him to have close range or far range. And if you do well there, like, it could take a while for them to track you down. And, like, that's the thing. It's all about how they track you and stuff. Because if they could find you quickly, then you're in trouble. Because they're separate from each other, too. And then they find each other and they go towards tracking you and stuff. So it depends how they work. I've seen some matches last, like about 8 minutes. And I've seen other matches last, like, it took, like, 20-something minutes, 30 minutes for it to be finished. So, yeah, it depends.
This is one thing I want to say about Evolve. This is like the first time that the multiplayer online component of a game has been changed this much, and it makes that much sense. And it's really hard to believe no one's ever thought of a mode where it's 1v4, and it actually works because you're getting stronger, gaining new abilities. And it's awesome. I mean, I can't wait to see what they're doing with this game. I'm really excited about Evolve.
Yeah, I find it compelling. I can just imagine playing with you guys and just like the amount of laps we're gonna have as like the 4 guys are like trying to find the monster, but the monster's sneaking around. Like it just seems like a great game to play with a group of friends. For some reason, I can't imagine playing it like with randoms though. It doesn't seem like it'd be any fun.
Yeah.
Especially people who don't have mics.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just now if the random, hopefully they'll be the monster. Because if you let the random person be the monster and everyone else on the team, that makes more sense. But
that would be fun. But you can't choose, I thought.
What was that?
You can't choose though.
I'm sure they're gonna have a custom match. They didn't.
Okay.
I'm sure they're gonna let you do custom. That they'll let you rotate and like you can select who's a monster. I'm sure they'll let you like customize it like that. But they have it right now that it's randomly selects who's a monster, and you all take turns if you stay in the same party. So,
Kate, did you get the chance to watch the Microsoft E3 conference? And what is the game that sold you on Xbox One?
Yeah, I did watch it. I was actually trying to watch it while I was in school, in classes, so I was like multitasking, not really paying attention to school. Yeah, so I really like the game, the Ori and the Black Forest. The Blind Forest. That game looked really awesome to me. It looked like it'll be a lot of fun. Evolve looked like it'd be fun. And Sunset Overdrive, that looked pretty fun too, but you never know until you start playing the game. It's hard to tell by what other people say about it. But I think Microsoft, they totally did a 180 from last year, and they brought what the people wanted. They brought games, not TV, not all this other stuff, games.
The Blind Forest, to me, actually, it almost immediately drew me in just because of the emotion that was displayed in that short trailer. Like, I immediately became attached to that big kind of chubby thing and to the little, I don't even know what it was, like half cat, half dragon. I don't know what it was, but it was cute, and it was sad, and that made me feel bad.
Rhymes.
Got him. That's what they're going for, BriarRabbit. They
So
want to get you in the heartstrings.
That's right. Not too nerdy. What was the game that impressed you the most out of Microsoft's E3?
Well, I like I said, I'm kind of biased on that because I feel like the thing that got me most excited is Halo 2, but that's not fair to say, like an older game, and yeah. I don't know if it's fair to say that like an older remaster game is the most exciting thing out of someone's presentation. I'm not putting Microsoft down on that. Just for me, that's the one multiplayer that I loved. That was Halo 2. And honestly, I was excited to hear that's back again, and the way it looked like they're actually keeping it the original way. To me, that was what I wanted to hear, and they're bringing the servers back, dedicated servers, which I also wanted to get into that. That's something that I was kind of, I don't know if you guys realize that this presentation for them, they showed 2 Kinect games, didn't mention Kinect, and they didn't announce cloud gaming. They said it once during the whole presentation. That's what I was looking for. They said it one time, but everything switched from cloud as all the power to cloud. Now they just mentioned dedicated servers. They're not saying power to cloud. So I don't know if you guys realize that was shocking to me that they just completely went away from that too. They just decided to stop mentioning that. So
this is definitely a new Xbox team. This is not the same guys that were there last year, and they clearly were better at speaking directly to what gamers wanted. They spoke to me. I was getting really excited during that conference. To be honest with you, Halo didn't get me that excited. I've already played all of those games. I wouldn't mind jumping back into Halo Combat Evolve's multiplayer, but I've already played all of those stories, and to be honest with you, I'm not that excited about 5, so I'm not so sure I want to play through all. I'd rather play Destiny,
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not excited about 5. I'd rather play Halo 2. That's the thing. Like, I'm not even get it for the beta of Halo 5, which is funny. Like, I'd rather just play the older one. Like, that to me, that was like the last good. That was the best multiplayer for that Halo ever had. That was the most.
It was revolutionary.
Yeah, it was just better. Like dual wield and stuff like that. Like you could just do so much in that it just seemed better. So. Yeah.
Anybody got anything else they want to talk about Microsoft's conference?
Oh, about the Call of Duty trailer?
Yeah, that was bored. That was a boring trailer.
Yeah, I was bored.
I know. The other thing that was cool was like, he threw like the tactical grenade or something and like switched between which one he wanted.
Yep.
That was the only thing that I was like, maybe I should get it, but.
Wait. So since you guys play Call of Duty and stuff, when I was looking at the demo, because they had like an actual room that they put everyone to see the demo for like press and stuff, we saw like it was about 25 minutes or so gameplay of it from different scenes and stuff. They showed like how the jumping mechanics work. You jump from like they jumped off cars and stuff like that. How do you guys think that looks? Because right now, the jumping mechanic of that, you're floating in the air. I feel like it's the complete opposite of Titanfall, where when you jump to get higher ground, it's an advantage. In the air, it's actually an advantage of Titanfall because you can run off buildings and move quickly. But for this, it seems the moment you jump, you're floating in the air. And I feel like you could just completely get shot in the air. Like you're just floating there. You're taking forever to land. And when they were going against computer AI, the computer AI like didn't even pay attention they're in the air. So like I'm like, well, that's not going to happen in multiplayer. People are going to see that you're in the air. So, what do you guys think about that? Like,
well, I'm wondering, is the first jump going to be like a short Call of Duty jump like we're used to, so the jump shot will still stay in play, or is the first jump going to be a big jump too, or can you get a suit?
Like it's like a normal jump and it's a double jump. So then when you're landing too, you could double jump again. So you don't. There'll never be fall damage anymore. So you can literally press X right before you land. So you'll never have fall damage anymore. So they took that out of the game. So now it's like if you think about Destiny, the way we're playing now, how you could like jump like that. It's kind of similar to that, but except you're floating more. It's just weird. I don't know how to explain it.
I gotta see how the multiplayer looks. The single player, I'm not interested in the single player at all. This one's not grabbing me. The trailer was boring.
Kevin Spacey, baby.
That trailer was cool. That trailer was cool. The E3 trailer sucked. It was really boring. It was slow paced. I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't care about the suits. The multiplayer though, like the suits are gonna make all the difference. Like if you can outfit your guy with one suit that can double jump, or he can run faster, or he can do that quick sidestep thing. If all three of those are combined, though, like that's not Call of Duty at all. That's going to be Halo, or that's going to be Titanfall. Like I'm really concerned about this year's Call of Duty. I don't know if it's going to be Call of Duty at all.
Just to let you know, they also just showed people jumping off like objects like cars and stuff. So they didn't show like a building or anything. So I'm still kind of curious, like if you're double jump off a building, are they going to try to do that? Parkour move, or you could wall jump? Like they didn't explain that. Every time they made it specific in the demo that it was jumped off a vehicle or something. So they never really truly showed what happens if you jump off a building or something like that.
Similar to Infamous, where to get that big jump you had to be on a car?
Yeah, they really didn't show anything yet. So who knows? It might not be a multiplayer. It might just be for show, and then they're like, oh, we tricked you. It's not a multiplayer. Just kidding. We're back to Call of Duty again. Like, I don't know. So,
Robbie, what game sold you on an Xbox One? Which game is going to get you to bring an Xbox One into your house?
Oh, that's tough. I think,
none of them, huh? None of them?
No. I think maybe Halo 5. Halo's always been a great franchise, and I'm sure a fifth game would be great. But I don't know. Like they had Fable Legends, which I don't know. It just didn't look all that interesting. Forza Horizon looks kind of cool, but it's not like totally selling me on the console. Like I'm not like I gotta go buy this for that game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Halo, Gears of War, like it's just kind of like with the 360. It seems like Microsoft never had that many exclusives on 360. Like they had Halo, Gears of War. They stuck to those core franchises that people really wanted and expected from it. But I don't know. There's just at the moment there's nothing really like saying I have to get this console. Like I'm just gonna wait out and see if anything comes down the road that I really have to have it for.
Yeah, I'm glad I have one now, but there was nothing at the show that was gonna make me buy one if I didn't have one. But everything at the show, I'm excited to play.
I agree. It still looked awesome though. Absolutely.
Beastly Gamer, what's the game at Microsoft's press conferences that sold you on an Xbox One?
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Really?
Yeah. I like Halo, and that game probably would have sold me too. But I'm not nearly as excited about a game that I played, over a decade ago. Just played the hell out of it. We beat all the Halos. Kate and I said we spent a lot of time playing those games. But something original, something that speaks to the inner nerd of me is anime. And this game has a very unique style to it. I just hope that it's story-driven and the narrative is as engrossing as the visualization of the game. It just looks like it's something special. And stuff like that you seldom see on Xbox platforms. Games that really submerge you in imagination of the developers. It looks like they went back to, it looks like they went back to stuff like The Secret of Nim. Type of feel.
That's a way back. That's a pull.
Yeah, I mean that's what I felt like. I felt like it was in the vein of that type of world, and I'm really excited about that. I'm kind of excited about the Halo Master Chief Collection, and Sunset Overdrive looks fun. But out of these games, the one that I saw for the Microsoft Xbox platform that made me probably the most excited would be Ori and the Blind Forest. That's the one that I feel like I have to have an Xbox One for because it's an exclusive. It won't be on the PS4, and I feel like that's something I just really have to experience. I have to experience that, and it just looks really great to me. And that'll be the one for me.
9 to 5 Gamers, what was the worst part about the Microsoft press conference?
The worst. I had like a I think the worst thing about all Microsoft press conferences is they base their press conference on early DLC or exclusive content for a third-party game, which they rely on that, which I don't like. I disagree with that shit all the way. Like, not to mention for people who play Call of Duty and all these games, they're not getting the DLC when everybody else does on PS4. It doesn't make much sense, and like they're doing it with Dragon Age Inquisition. They're doing it with like all these games, and it's not making me buy it on your console, dude. I'm buying the better running version. If it runs better on PlayStation 4, I'm gonna buy that version.
I agree 100% with that. Yeah,
I agree too. Unreal Gamer, what was the worst part of Microsoft's E3 press conference?
I don't know. I was just about to say about the thing on DLC, but I feel like they milk their games too much. You guys are like, look at that awesome game, or like this awesome. You know, I said they use too many. You guys find it too much. They do. They like, here's this awesome game, and you watch the trailer, you're just like, really? Like the guy just threw a grenade, or like, I don't really agree with how they milk their game so much. They blow it up to something that's gonna be amazing.
I definitely felt that with Forza and the Nürburgring.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you added a track to a game. Get over it. Like, we understand. Move on.
And then the people that are like big into sim racing and all that stuff, they love that. That track is like a must in gaming, like towards people who do racing. Like they love that
shit. It's like a 20-second announcement, isn't it?
Yeah, that is true. They waste a lot of time on that. Yeah.
It's kind of weird because like it's free and everybody's like, yeah, but it's a track. Like,
yeah, it's one track. They also released some car DLC that day that they didn't even talk about.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's because you had to pay for it.
Because I sold that game a long time ago. Kate, what was the worst part about Microsoft's E3?
You said the worst part?
Worst part.
Well, probably like what Not Too Nerdy said. He said, like, they didn't give you time to react. They just went from game to game to game, and they didn't really let it settle in what you're getting out of that game.
See, I kind of liked that, Kate. I thought it was fun because they had me so compelled because they were just moving on. Boom, 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 boom. I couldn't hardly keep up. I was just excited the whole time.
They tricked you, that's why.
They did. They tricked me. All right, should we move on to Sony? Anybody got anything else they want to talk about Microsoft?
Wait, I had a question.
The worst.
No, that's all right. I was going to ask you a question, but go ahead. You talk for it now. I'll ask you your question after.
The thing that I didn't like as much about the Microsoft conference that I didn't see as much in others, is they relied heavily on CGI instead of actual gameplay or stuff that was in-engine. Mm-hmm. A lot of the stuff that they showed, and Sony is guilty to a lesser degree, is of CG, portions of a game that don't represent the final product or even close to what the product would be. And I feel like E3 is a place where you show a little something to, kind of get the audience, to get your fan base riled up. This is kind of what the game will be like. This is similar to what it could be like. But if you see nothing but CG and you know that you're not watching anything that has anything to do with actual gameplay, I feel like you're being sold a false bill of sale. I just feel like, wow, we know this game is coming out, but they didn't show us anything that represents what that game will be. And that's one thing that Microsoft did a lot of during this E3 that other conferences didn't do as much of. I just feel like E3, I think it's fine to do it every now and then if you don't have any product to show, but it probably isn't as hard as we think it would be to spend maybe a week or so to do something in Engine or do something similar to in Engine to show people, hey, look, this is the direction we're going. This might not be a representation of the final product, but at least if you look at this, you'll get an idea of what this game will be like. And that's probably the thing that I like the least about Microsoft's conference, because I loved what they showed.
You know what I did like about Microsoft's conference, though, is that they had a clear kind of stop and start to 2014 and 2015. Like, here's all the games that are coming out in 2014. Stop. Okay, From now on, we're talking about 2015 and beyond. I enjoyed that. The rest of the press conferences didn't do that. It was hard to tell. Is this coming out this year? Is this coming out next year? I'm not sure. Microsoft told us these games from here on, like to this point, are 2014. Okay, now we're stopping with 2014. We're moving on to 2015. I appreciated that as a gamer just because it made it easier for me to know what to expect this year. Not much.
Real quick, I had a question for pretty much everyone. Anyone could just jump in and answer this, but do you guys feel that anything right now for after the presentation, do you feel like there's a game that if you didn't have an Xbox One, do you think that there was a game that someone said, I have to get the Xbox One for that game? Or is it still just like if you have an Xbox One, they gave you plenty of games to buy, right? But was there anything that they made you say, I need an Xbox One for right now? I was just curious what everyone else thought about that. So,
not to me, but like the masses are probably hype about Halo. Like to people who like Halo, and there's still a lot of people, surprisingly, people will buy a system for that.
Okay.
No, I agree. I think that the Halo is probably the number one catalyst that people saw at E3 for Microsoft that's probably going to get the old guys, the guys our age, riled up to be able to go back in time and play those games running at a higher frame rate and more polished graphics. For me, the only game that I saw that made me feel like, hey, I have to have an Xbox One because this is an experience that I want to have is the game I mentioned before, Ori and the Blind Forest. But no, I don't feel necessarily that the Halo Master Chief Collection is something that would make me personally buy one. I don't think Halo 5 yet because they haven't shown me anything. I'm curious about Sunset Overdrive, but the game has not been released. I'm trying to remember the name of the game that comes out with the TV show. What's the name of it, guys?
Quantum Break.
Quantum Break, and this is the thing that kind of gets me. A lot of people are excited about this game, but we haven't really seen anything that this game really has to offer other than the premise of what it's based on. It's a nice idea that this game comes out and it coincides with the show, and you get to watch episodes, and you get to play the game, and I'm hoping that the gameplay will, reflect during the episode that you watch, but we haven't seen this in action yet, so things like that can't get me excited until I kind of get a taste, a little bit of what is actually coming down the pipeline. But yeah, Ori and the Blind Forest is the game that I saw that made me feel like I really do have to have an Xbox One.
All right, cool. All
right, should we move on to Sony?
Yep.
All right, so Sony had kind of a mixed bag, I thought. It was an uneven press conference. They had me super hyped at the beginning when they kind of were talking about Destiny. They mentioned that the alpha would be available this week, which has been great. They also showed off a white PlayStation 4, which I thought was amazing. I know a couple of us have it pre-ordered already. They had a really strong start, and then they stalled completely right in the middle.
As soon as Sean Wayne came out.
Yeah, and it was an uneven press conference.
And Shuhei said,
Beastly Gamer, what did you think about overall? Was Sony's press conference good? Did the games that came out of it get you excited? Did the pace of the press conference kind of drag it down? What's your impression of it?
Well, my impression was this. Initially, when they first started, I thought that they were hitting home run after home run after home run. A lot of the games that they showed at the beginning of the conference, we expected. Some we didn't. Some were pleasant surprises, like Little Big Planet 3. You know, when you hear that this studio is not even going to be around, then all of a sudden you get a pleasant surprise of a AAA title. It was great. Now, they did, during the final third of their act, really hit a steep decline when they started talking about the Powers TV show that's going to be developed for Sony TV. When they started talking about, the Project Morpheus stuff. When they started talking about, well, PlayStation Now I didn't mind as much, but it was a steep decline. I think if they had went the route of Ubisoft and kind of gave you a little bit and then moved on to a game, something to get you back excited and gave you a little bit, and kind of kept it streamlined rather than give you all this good stuff and then give you 15 minutes of stuff that will put you to sleep, and then finally close the way they closed, which I thought was a great idea. I think overall Sony did a pretty good job. This year it wasn't about hardware, it wasn't about DRM, it wasn't about debacles, it was about games. And Sony brought out some really good games, some games I'm really excited about. Seeing stuff like The Order 1886 just on a superficial level did something to me. I've never seen a game that looked that good actually being played, which raised a lot of questions for me. But I'm excited.
Wait a minute, hold on. What kind of questions? Like deep psychological questions?
Deep psycho. I was wondering, am I really to be scared? No. The questions that I had during their conference and watching this game in particular, the Order 1886, it looked so good, and I was watching it, and I was watching the finite details in the world, the pieces of paper on the desks and the way that the doors were painted. It looked so real, almost photorealistic. And then I started to realize that every few seconds it seemed like you were being pushed into a cutscene. And now everything in this game is done in-engine. It's rendered on the spot. It's not like they're pre-rendered scenes. It's all done right there. Mm-hmm. So that's a feat in itself. But the thing is, it seems like every few minutes you go around a corner and all of a sudden you've got a cutscene going on. And then during that cutscene, it's like a quick-time event where you're just aiming your gun and firing off a few shots, and then you go to another cutscene. And I was wondering if this is the direction that this game is going to go. Because if a game looks that good, you would imagine that it takes a lot to make that world really feel fleshed out, and you'd be able to walk around and enjoy it and look at things and go back and backtrack. And it doesn't feel like you'll be able to do that in this game. It feels like this is going to be a linear experience. It feels like you're going to be pushed forward, and they're going to be telling this tale. This narrative is going to be strong, a very strongly narrative-driven game. But I don't feel like you're going to have the freedom that you do in games like Infamous, or of course that's truly open world. But I just feel like every few minutes you're going to see a cutscene. You're going to have a QTE moment. It's going to look fantastic, but you're going to have a lack of freedom. You're going to have you're going to feel claustrophobic playing this game. That's just what I'm getting just from the visualizations of what I've seen.
Isn't there still room for a single-player game, though? Does every game have to be like a big open world, or can't we just have like a really focused experience anymore? Not too dirty. Did you actually play this game?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I played about 30 minutes to 35 minutes. I was in the room. There's people there. We got a chance to play. I was with the press on that one, and just to let you know that it's not just QuickTime events, but there is QuickTime events in it. It plays similar. The movement reminds you a lot like Gears of War. The movement, the third-person shooter, it reminds you of that movement. So there's a lot of movement like that. You go back from, you take cover. It's like Gears of War. So just to reassure you, it's not like you're pushed in one direction, but it is linear. I mean, every shooter like that, every shooter pretty much is linear. You have to go a certain direction. Like, you can't do anything else till you go to that direction. So it's just like any other shooter if you really think about it. But what they're experimenting with, which might not be for everyone, is a transition, a cinematic transition. So like when you go from scene to scene, it jumps you directly into a cinematic approach to make it look realistic. So like you look like you really sometimes can't tell, is this gameplay or is it jumping to cinematic? They're trying to make it just jump fluid.
They're blurring the line.
Yes, then that's what they're experimenting with. So, and the problem with them is that there's a lot of things they need to fix with the game right now. Still, there's some things they got to fix, and they're not showing it in the trailers. A lot of the trailers, all they're showing is the QuickTime events. So a lot of people think it's just QuickTime events because that's what they're showing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But when you see the actual gameplay, there is gameplay. There are third-person shooter mechanics, and there's things that they need to fix because some of it was kind of buggy at first, which is the normal thing for third-person shooters, where you're next to a ledge, and sometimes you try to like take cover, you might jump over the ledge. You know what I mean? Like things like that. They're trying to fix the mechanics, but that's like normal for third-person shooters. The only one that people only thought did the best was Gears of War. Gears of War is the one that perfected the way you move in third-person shooting. Like that's what every game tries to like simulate now. The Gears of War, that when you do third-person shooter, every game tries to simulate that because it has the best movement, and that's why it has the running effect and shaking camera and all that stuff. So I feel like that's what they're simulating in a way. But like just to reassure you, it's not all cinematics.
The order got pushed back to 2015 as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got plenty of time to work that stuff out.
Yeah, they need to work it out, yeah.
Yeah. 9 to 5 gamers, what was the best part of the Sony press conferences? And second question, what would you fix about it?
I would fix their tech.
Their tech was bad. I agree.
So fucked
it was bad.
Dude, I really
the worst shit I've ever seen.
I really hope they didn't use Sony mics or something because
like when I saw, for instance, you brought it up in your video, and I agreed 100%. When they showed Scarecrow during the Batman thing, I thought that was their shit fucking up on their thing.
Yeah, totally. I'm like, oh my god.
I was like, oh man, this is not supposed to be going down right now. But the two things that stoked me the most was actually Little Big Planet and obviously Uncharted. But you don't see Uncharted, but you know it's gonna look amazing for what it is.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, this is the last Uncharted. I swear, it's a wrap now. That's why they're getting rid of all them damn
Thief's
people.
End, right? It's called.
Yep.
A Thief's End, but I don't think it's the last one. I think it might be the last one with Nathan Drake, and it'll probably continue on the series.
Yeah.
You know, for sure.
But yeah, I was really hyped for Little Big Planet. I love Little Big Planet. It's a great game. And they showed a lot of stuff like where you can fly and use the big guy to move the blocks and hit buttons. It's gonna work for some crazy puzzles online.
Yeah, my biggest problem with Little Big Planet is like the idea is great and the world is great and I love Sackboy, but the fucking jumping sucks. It just sucks. And then
that girl just
so they show Little Big Planet 3, and like the demo, the girl can't fucking jump. I'm like, I'm out. Yeah. I'm not buying this game. You just demoed this game out of my life.
It's because people are so used to the way Mario controls, and you want him to control just like Mario, but he's supposed to be kind of floaty and goofy movements because he's a sack boy, you know.
Yeah. The mechanics is meant to be like that. Like I mean, and people aren't used to it. The way it is, it's supposed to be like that. Like you said, floating and stuff like that.
It's a bad decision. I just wanted to control well so that when I'm playing a level that's been designed by somebody to be difficult, I feel like it's my fault if I fail, not the floaty mechanics that that I can't really control where Sackboy's going.
Yeah, it definitely takes a while to get the feel for the game.
95 gamers, do you think that it's a problem that it's not the same developers?
No, because I think they have a good enough base for Little Big Planet in itself that they know what to work with, Okay. And I feel they're doing a good job with like introducing all these new characters and all that stuff. That's smart on their end because it's better. Yeah, that too. It looks like Little Big Planet. Not to mention, it's better to have I feel all the different characters than to have all this DLC where you get like a gun and a grappling hook and all this other shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
The best thing to me about the new Little Big Planet 3 is the fact that you have a back catalog of over 8 million stages that were previously made for the other Little Big Planet games.
Yeah.
That you have access to immediately. So that right there alone gives you replayability that you could play for the rest of your life and play a different stage every single time. And on top of that, all the stuff that'll be made for the PS4 version of the game.
Not to mention it does come out this year, which is super awesome.
That is a nice thing. Yeah, it's one of the games you're gonna get this year.
And it gives me an idea that when Gamescom comes and they announce the new whatever Media Molecule is working on, I'm more stoked for that too, because it's not Little Big Planet, it's something new.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Kate, I know you're a big Little Big Planet fan. What did Little Big Planet 3? How did it show for you?
It looked real awesome. There was a new dynamic because you get 4 people to control, and it's just Little Big Planet. It's always hit home for me. I always like the games, and I have a feeling this one will be just as good.
Yeah. Now, you know how has it been 3 levels, like 3 different? I don't know how to explain it.
It's been two layers
that you could go back and forth with.
Yeah.
it looks like that's still going to be in there. And that always kind of made for, I thought, a fun mechanic. Do you think they should have kept that? You think they should have gotten rid of it? Would it not be Big Planet without it?
They did. There's 4 layers now.
Oh, okay.
You can go back and further in this one and come out further. So that's something they definitely kept. I think they expanded on it.
Yeah.
I'm not the Little Big Planet lover that she is. I honestly never liked the game. I'm not. It's just, I guess I'm not that kind of gamer. But she's always liked it from the very first one. What did you think about that? How they added these extra layers compared to the PSP version and the PS3 versions previously?
Well, I think the 2 layers was pretty easy to control. So 4 might take a little getting used to at first, just to know where you are actually in the level. Your perception might be a little off, but once you get the hang of it, I'm sure it could add a little to the game.
The way they did it now is with each of these 4 playable characters, they all have, I guess you could call them perks and advantages that'll help you traverse landmarks of the stage. It's like the little bird, they can pick up anybody and just do whatever if you don't want to mess with the other people. And the little pudgy one, he can grow big and become heavy and push obstacles and weigh things down.
He's big boned. He's big boned.
He's big boned. Yeah. And so the thing is, I don't know how it would actually work out playing a single-player version of this game.
Yeah.
If you actually would need the AI to help you, or
That's a good question.
Would the game change if you're only playing as Sackboy? It is a really good question. But if you got 4 people to play with, it seems like it'll be a lot of fun because everybody will be firing off on all cylinders. So I think it's a really good thing for the Sony conference announcing this game. They sneakily announced this game. Nobody was expecting it.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. Kate, they also said that there'd be more developer-created content than in previous games, where in previous games I felt like they created a quick single-player, but then they relied on the community to really flesh out the game. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, it depends because, like, the community levels can be real fun. Some people can make some really awesome levels. But to see more in the single player would be great because they do have, like, really short stories. You can play through it pretty fast. So seeing that expanded will be, that'll be good.
All right. Unreal Gamer. If you didn't have a PS4 right now, did Sony just sell you one?
Yes and no. Yes, because they showed The Last of Us Remastered, and, like, I'm dying for that.
That's it, right there.
Yeah, right there. DC made me want it so bad, and I watched his video, and I watched that gameplay. It just looks so awesome online as well. And I just can't wait for it to come out. And but the no, because not all the games really applied to what I like. I mean, and there was one thing, the Grand Theft Auto 5. You guys even feel that it should have went next gen? Is it just me that it shouldn't have?
Really?
It didn't need to.
Anybody want to
I don't care either way. I don't care either way because by the time that it comes out, there's going to be a lot of like third-party stuff out as it is. So I don't know. I'll pick it up still because I didn't play any of the side missions. I just beat the game and traded it in.
Well,
So.
I think that Rockstar is caught in between, like in between the generation ending and generation starting. So like when it's like that, you have to, you're pretty much stuck. Like you have to make it for the one that has the most consoles, but then you have to upscale it because like obviously if you saw the way it played in the last generation, the frame rates were really low. It could barely handle it, and it didn't look visually. I mean, everyone liked the way it looked. They said, "Oh, it's a big world," but do you know how much better it's going to look now because that you have the freedom, the space, like you have what you needed, like. That's the difference. So
stylistically, it was beautiful, but the old consoles just didn't have the power.
It'll run smoother, run better, and like that's the way it is. And there's still some people, as much as you don't think so, there's still a lot of people that did not buy. Like a lot of people didn't buy. There's some people that didn't finish it because a lot of people were in transition, was traded in their consoles. So people traded away the game and they didn't even finish the game. Now they have opportunity to get the game again and actually complete it and keep it this time. There's a difference because that's another thing that people don't realize. When you're towards the end of a console life cycle, a lot of people will play for a while and then they just don't experience anything else. They don't experience DLC. They don't wait for anything because they're getting rid of the console to trade it in for the new console. So.
What I always love about Grand Theft Auto when it's released for the PC and when the modders get a hold of it. Like, they do amazing things. I'm not a PC gamer, but that's one of the things that kind of tugs at me to get me, you know, just watching what people do to GTA. This one, graphically, I mean, there's so many things to do in it already. I can't wait to see what the modders are going to do on the PC.
I won't be excited until I see the Beastly Thoughts gang in the game. So all you modders out there, get on it. I got a question for all you guys, and it does concern GTA 5, Next Gen, PC, and The Last of Us Remastered. Now, when they did the reveal for Grand Theft Auto 5 PS4 version, I didn't know what it was at first. That's how graphically the upgrade was that severe for me. I've spent a lot of time on GTA 5. My kids are playing it right now as we speak.
Yeah.
And so when they showed the world, I was like, "What is this?" It looked really close to photorealistic, the scenes they show, and then all of a sudden I started to recognize landmarks, and we got excited. We started, you know, screaming in the house. We couldn't believe it. But when they showed The Last of Us Remastered, I didn't feel the same way. Now, I think I know why, but I want to get you guys' opinion on it.
You're still playing it, though, Brett. Like, it's hard. You don't have any separation from that game.
No. The thing is, I would be able to notice a graphical upgrade from a PS3 to a PS4. Hopefully. That's the thing I'm saying. But the thing is, with The Last of Us Remastered, I felt like the footage that they showed at E3 was more cutscene and not gameplay. And so the cutscenes were done so well on the PS3 version. They were done so well that, I mean, those are some of the best-looking cutscenes I saw in the last generation.
Mm-hmm.
And when they showed it on the PS4, it was just very hard for me to notice it. And I wanted more gameplay so I could, you know, kind of have something to hold on to and say, wow, this really does look different. Were you guys able to notice a difference for The Last of Us Remastered the way that it was presented for the GTA 5 Remastered?
Yeah, you go 9 to 5.
I think Last of Us is a better looking game overall, and that's why I think it's like that. And not to mention, Grand Theft Auto is such a bigger game, so they had to cut a lot of that shit down. And then they're like, okay, now we're gonna max this bitch out when it comes out on the next gen. So
Got you.
And to be honest with you, like, they pretty much explained it, but a lot of people speculated this anyway. They already calculate 31% new PlayStation owners. PS4, there's 31% new people, and I forgot the percentage, but there's a good percentage of that didn't even own a last-gen console.
Yeah,
They're playing on PS4. So with that said, there's a lot of people that didn't even get a chance to play the game. So that what they're doing there, if you have 31% of the people that are brand new that never played that game before, that's enough to sell your console. That's enough to redo the game right there. And then let alone the people are going to buy it again, and then like they're going to still get a lot of copies sold. That's the reason why they did it. You know what I mean? Once you hear there's a good 30% of the people that not play something, you were like, well, I'm going to bring it out because they need another game for the PlayStation 4, right? They need another exclusive. So why not bring a game that none of those people got a chance to play? And that's the reason why it is. It's not really about did they really change too much. Like 9 to 5 Gamer said, it looked pretty good. They maxed it out on the PlayStation 3. You know, it used everything it could for the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
And right now, it's not about. I mean, obviously, it's going to look better. We know it's going to be 1080p. Like it's going to look better, and it's probably going to run better too. But at the same time, it's more about the people that never got a chance to play it, or the people that just want to play multiplayer again. Because, like you said, you like the multiplayer, so it's going to give those people another opportunity to play multiplayer all over again. Which that's what I'm getting for, just for multiplayer. So.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. The multiplayer, when it was released, it was broken, you know, and you lost like I lost 2 characters during the game when I was playing, so I technically stopped playing the multiplayer. Now you can play it because all the bugs are worked out and shit. So it'll be awesome for that aspect too.
Correction, I didn't say I like the multiplayer. I love it.
I knew you were going to say that, bro.
Robbie, what was the best part of the Sony press conference?
Uncharted.
Uncharted?
Yeah,
just that little trailer at the end?
That and the Little Big Planet 3 reveal, like, that just came out of nowhere, and I love Little Big Planet. I was like, oh my god, yes! Like, I just didn't see it coming at all. That was so awesome. And it looks like Little Big Planet. It's probably going to feel a lot like Little Big Planet, so I can't wait. Yeah, probably Uncharted and...
I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
Do you guys think that Uncharted... I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit of lag. There's two of us here right now. My question is, do you guys think that the Last of Us that was shown for the PS4, how much of that was that close to in-engine, you guys think, at all?
You mean Uncharted, right?
Yeah, the Uncharted 4 reveal.
They said it was
now,
in-engine.
we know that. Yeah, that's the thing. They're saying that, but it looks so good. And Naughty Dog doesn't normally show stuff that's in-engine during E3.
Yeah, but come on, that game's not coming out till 2016.
15.
If they even have an engine up and running, I'd be surprised. 15? You think it's coming out 2015?
Well, they put a release date down
That's
for
what
it.
Yeah, I bet it's not. I'll bet you 2016.
I think it'll be 2015, but it's gonna be like at the very end of 2015.
Yeah,
That's a
November,
holiday.
December.
That's their holiday one. That's gonna be a holiday bundle. You better believe they're gonna max bundle it up and everything. You're gonna get a PlayStation. It's gonna look like Drake. Like
You're gonna get
a PlayStation with perfect hair.
It's gonna have a scarf that comes with it.
Yeah. You're gonna get everything.
He's gonna have a half tucked in shirt. Not too nerdy. What was the worst part about the E3 conference? Talk to me. You were sitting there. You had to experience this pain firsthand.
Ready?
Yeah.
This guy was the worst part. Okay, the guy that was going like this, talking like, I'm just gonna tell you right now that PlayStation 4 sold this many. Like, stop it. Why do you talk like that? Like, I don't even. That killed it. Like, all right. If you look, there was about 35 minutes of the PlayStation 4 press conference that they could have took out. And if you look at it, it went overboard 35 minutes. So that explains the whole thing right there. Now, I'm going to go over the games real quick. They said Grim Fandango remastered. They showed a trailer. Let It Die trailer. You know, they started out with Destiny, and they announced a white PS4 with new controllers too. They announced all this stuff. It started out great. Then they showed Grim Fandango remastered, Let It Die, and then they showed other games like Far Cry 4, Little Big Planet 3. Like, those just examples of it. And Sony's whole theme, it seemed like, for the whole presentation was that, look, you could get games on any of the other consoles, but you get it with us, you're going to get the best version of it because you're going to get more content. You're going to get the best version. It's going to run better and look better. That was their whole method. They literally pulled a Microsoft in that presentation. They literally pulled it, and that was okay with me. That part was okay with me because you told people, look, if you get it with PlayStation 4, it's going to look better. You're going to get more content. It's going to run better, which is fine. Now, the thing that I didn't like about it was they talked about that comic book. All right, like I don't want it. Like, you could do that at Comic-Con. You could do that somewhere else. You don't have to talk about that E3. That's not what it's about. And they mentioned some cool things, though. You know, there's cool things like for Far Cry 4, for example, right? You could actually have a friend play. They could jump in to play the game that they don't even have to own the game for multiplayer. That's only available on PlayStation 4. That sounds great. You know, there's another thing that was good for Rockstar Games for Grand Theft Auto 5. You know what I mean? If you had a 360 or PS3, all your stuff transfers over. That only happens for PlayStation 4. You know what I mean? For that sounds great. But does anyone remember that? No. They remember this guy talking. That's the last thing they remember. And thank goodness they ended off with a bang with, like, the, Uncharted. Because they didn't show Uncharted at the end. I swear, this would have been a horrible presentation. But the fact that they showed Batman, they showed
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. And by the way, that whole Batman thing that you're talking about, like, the developers did it on purpose. Like, that was the whole point of it. They said that he puts fear into the audience, or whatever. So they said, what's the scariest thing at a press conference if you think everything freezes, a video freezes? Yeah. That's what they did on purpose. That was their thing.
It was more effective than it should have been because it was going so poorly, though.
Yes.
Like, you may not have noticed, but streaming-wise, it was really blocky. It didn't work at all on my PlayStation. I was actually watching the PlayStation conference on my Xbox One, which was kind of weird. You know, there was a bunch of technical issues they were having streaming that. So when it starts blowing up, like, it was like.
See, some of my friends were saying that they had no problems with it. I heard other people did. Like, they were watching on Twitch, though. Where were you guys watching it?
I was watching it on Twitch on my Xbox One. I could not watch it on the PlayStation 4 had an app that you could download to watch it on, and it wasn't working.
Watch on the IG app too.
So I went to a couple of different sites. Some of them had it streaming terribly, and then I found one that was streaming perfectly. So I think it all depended on the source that you were getting it from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my biggest gripe, though, another thing was that Sony didn't show anything about Drive Club, which was completely playable over there. They didn't even announce it. They didn't even let people know, hey, we also have this exclusive. That's an exclusive that's literally coming out in October. They didn't even mention it in the press conference.
They had time to do it.
You know what I mean? Like, that's to tell people, especially when your competitor introduces Forza Horizon 2. You know, they announce, oh, we have this racing game. You're not going to say, well, we have this racing game. Made no sense to me. And also, Deep Down, like, was nowhere to be found. Deep Down's another exclusive for PlayStation, nowhere to be found. No mention of The Last Guardian, whether it exists or it doesn't exist. And God of War, no mention of it. So I feel like they did a good presentation if you look at just the sheet. But if you saw the presentation from start to beginning,
it was bad.
That's the thing. If you read what they went over, you'll be like, oh, they had a good presentation. But if you saw the presentation, they presented it poorly. And I think that's what it was still a good presentation from what they said. I just feel that they need someone to say it better, because that one guy, the finger pointing, like, he looked like Ricky Bobby from Talladega Nights. I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, he's just going like this. He didn't know what to do with his hands. He's driving
especially after having Jack Trenton there last year. Jack Trenton was just so natural with that kind of stuff. You know, he got me excited about what he was talking about. He just naturally had that effect on me.
Jack Trenton was like, he seriously, like, compared to this guy, Jack Trenton looks like Snoop Dogg now. So smooth. Was smooth on stage. Now you got this guy. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness, man. I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but like.
All right, so I was surprised that nobody talked about what impressed me the most about the Sony conference. This
Wait,
really
I know
got me excited. It was the fact that 3 times during that conference they said, and you can play this game this week. They did that with Entwined. You could download it that day, and I did, and I love that game. I'm really having a nice time with it. It's a little more chill than most games I play, but I really enjoy it. Then they announced Destiny, and they said the alpha will be available this week, which was amazing. And I've been playing that all weekend since Thursday. And then they did the same thing with Battlefield Hardline. I was like, that to me was the most standout part of the Sony's conferences. Yeah, here's these games, and these 3 you can play this week, and that's amazing. Like, that was super awesome.
Wait, yeah. I want to ask you guys because I was there. I had, like, my friends kept messaging me, oh, can you get me beta codes? I'm like, or alpha codes. I'm like, didn't they just announce all you have to do is sign on? He's like, yeah, the internet's down. I'm like, what do you mean it's down? They just announced you could go. Was it down for real? Like,
yeah, they literally, my boss called his son. His son was at home from school, and he said, turn on my PlayStation and try to get the Battlefield beta. He couldn't even log on. Couldn't even log on to the PlayStation. It was broken.
It didn't work at all. It took, I forget how long it took Kate and I to look on the PS4, but the way they showed how to do it absolutely did not work. It was very frustrating.
The good thing
there
is
were comments on my video saying, "Hey, is PlayStation 4 down for you too?" Yeah.
The good thing is,
I got a question.
People an opportunity, though.
There was a game that nobody mentioned here that to me was one of the biggest standouts for Sony. It's made by a very small studio.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky is made by the development team behind Joe Danger, the little stuntman racer game.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this game? When I saw it, I was kind of taken aback because I thought it was like a simulator where you're on a different planet taking pictures of dinosaurs, and then all of a sudden he goes around the corner and gets into a ship, goes into outer space into real time. Then you see ships teleporting into his location in real time. He gets into a firefight. Then he goes and lands on another planet in real time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you? And the premise of this game is infinite. The first game ever to be like infinite. You can go on forever.
Yeah,
what do you guys
it's all
think
real time, like it's generated, like procedure. I thought. Let me jump in. I thought that this game technically was amazingly impressive and absolutely gorgeous, but they have to somehow prove to me how it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't see that part of the game.
The thing is, like, a lot of people like that, the fact that you could explore. There's like, it seems like a more of an exploration-based game that you could explore, like New World stuff. But the way it works is every person starts out on the world.
A different planet.
World, it's generated a certain way. It's completely different from the next world. And
but
you
it
can
stays
travel
that way for everybody who visits.
Yeah, but there's things you could do in the world, and like you could actually.
That's what I want to know.
What they're saying is you could supposedly change the world, like environments. I don't know if they're going to say that you could craft things, you could build things, like redo things in that world, so that when people visit that world, you completely change that world. So I'm not sure how they're going to do it. They didn't want to go full detail, but like that's the way it is. It's pretty cool to hear that that's what's going to happen, that each world's going to be different and it's going to generate itself, and you can visit other people's worlds. So like the fact that it's endless like that, it's pretty cool because there's going to be other things that they could do with that in the future. So pretty much, if you're saying that they could randomly do that, there's other things that they could always add with DLC and other stuff. So, that's, I don't know. For me, I thought it was interesting, and the fact that they're not like a big company and they're able to do this, I'm kind of more worried to see how it's going to run and how it's going to hold up. That's what I'm curious about,
It looks like Star Fox on acid. Like Star Fox Adventure, that's what it reminded me of, like a first-person version, because it's like open world, dude gets in his ship and flies away, and there's other guys fighting in the sky. It looked cool. It looked really cool.
My thing is this like a MMO type of environment? The fact that everybody's born on a different planet means that there has to be some type of social connectivity, because it wouldn't matter if you're born on a different planet, but there's no one else in that world with you. So I'm thinking if they're somehow able to turn this into a massively multiplayer game, and there's factions, and the fact that this game is infinite, it really could turn into like its own Star Wars type of universe. And I guess it all depends on how deep it is. But the thing that amazes me the most is how small the studio is, and taking on such a huge endeavor on the current gen console like this, and the fact that they were able to pull off this technological feat with randomly generated worlds and space. It blew my mind when I saw it. I just totally was not expecting what I saw when you looked up and you saw these big dinosaurs walking around, and he was taking pictures of them and marking them. I was like, oh, what is this? It's showing some dinosaur world crap? Then all of a sudden he just left the planet, goes out into space. When he went around to the ship, I was like, what the hell is going on? He got into the ship. I'm thinking he's going to fly around the planet or go, a few hundred yards forward and get into a firefight. He leaves the atmosphere. You could see the atmosphere actually going by you. Then you're in space. Then you see these ships teleporting in, and I'm only guessing that those are generated other characters coming into the world. They're shooting each other, and he goes and runs from this fight, goes to another planet, and continues. And that just blew my mind. That's kind of like what I've been hoping for my whole life as a gamer, to be able to experience something like that in real time. I don't think we've ever had an opportunity to see something like that. It just blew my mind.
The thing that
technically it's amazing.
I'm just questioning because, like, first of all, Microsoft's the one that helped this studio in the first place when they were doing bad. So, like, it's kind of weird that they end up making the game for Sony now. It's
a multi-platform game. It's not an exclusive.
It's time exclusive though. That's what the thing they're saying. They're saying it's a time exclusive on it, and like that's what when I was asking, I'm like, wait. So I thought. That's why Sony announced at their press conference it's supposed to be time exclusive. They're supposed to be a time exclusive just for Sony console first, and then it's going to go. They didn't even mention Xbox One yet, but I'm assuming obviously that's the thing I'm questioning how long it's going to be time exclusive for. So I don't know. Like, is it 3 months? Is it a year? Like, it's kind of weird that Microsoft's the one that funded this studio.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then all of a sudden they go with Sony. I was just shocked with that. So.
I got a question for everybody before we move on to the next conference. Do you
I
guys
think something that is really crazy to me.
Go ahead.
Do you guys think that it's...
Go ahead, BC.
I'm talking. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm wondering is, do you guys think that it actually improves your press conference if you're the one that shows off a multiplayer? Like Sony showed off Batman, they showed Mortal Kombat, they showed GTA 5, the remastered version. All these games are going to be multi-plats. How do you think did it really affect their press conference and make them seem superior versus, like Microsoft did Call of Duty and, Sony did Destiny? Do you think that showing off multi-plats really makes a difference during E3?
I do when you give away the alpha that week. I think that was pretty impressive.
That was awesome. Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened before. That was something else. But yeah, that was something else. All these games are multi-plats, and for one company to show it off over the next, it kind of makes that company look, that much better in the eyes of the consumer. Wow, they're showing this off. And then when Sony takes another, stab in the dark and says, hey, GTA 5, if you're playing on the 360 and you want to transfer your online data from the 360, you can do that on the PS4. It made them seem a little superior. The fact
I'm surprised they even mention their competition though. Like, you wouldn't think they'd want to bring up like Microsoft or Xbox. Like, they wouldn't mention them. Same with Xbox, PlayStation. They wouldn't want to mention them with anything. So I was kind of surprised by that. They just said you can take your 360 saves over. I'm like, whoa, don't be mentioning your competition. You have to make everybody like. You can't be bringing that up. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not something you do, I guess.
Now, your question again. What was the question again for Beasley? You said the.
Do you think that when companies show off multiplats the way that Sony and Microsoft did, these games are multiplats, okay?
Yeah.
Sony showed off Mortal Kombat. They showed off GTA 5. They showed off Destiny. They showed it off during their E3 press conference. Microsoft showed off, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Do you think that these games actually shine a ray of light on that conference versus the other?
Not to you and me, but I think they do to general consumers because they just start associating that game with one platform or another.
I was going to say there's two reasons why. One, like the average person will think they think that it's exclusive when it's not exclusive. They at the end of the conference they're asking themselves, so is that exclusively for PlayStation 4? They think in their head that it's exclusive. So to them they think, well, I have to get PlayStation 4 to play this game. So that's one reason. The other reason is that you're saying that these studios are showing support for this console because they want to be presented with this console, which means that they're going to get more content, or they might get extra DLC. They get things first because they want to be broadcast saying, oh, like they're with PlayStation 4. So that's the two reasons I think. So one, you're going to confuse the people that are watching. You're going to make them think that it's exclusive. And the second reason is because you're going to let people know that, hey, they're supported by those game studios. They're supported by those people. So...
Wow. My thing is, do you guys see basically the turning of the tide? Previously at E3s, Microsoft had a lot more multi-plat shown during their conference. Now, the fact that Sony has been selling, the way that they've been selling these PlayStation 4s, do you think that these developers want to be more associated with Sony because they know that Sony has a bigger install base and basically it's a turning of the tide? Do you think that that's the reason why Sony is getting so much more multi-platform developer support now that the PS4 has been released?
It's about the money. It's about the money. Whoever has the most, that's who they're going with.
Like, sell more, I'll develop on yours is the lead platform. That's happened with the Xbox 360, and it'll happen in the future with every console generation.
Mm-hmm. What did you guys think about them not showing like anything with the Vita? Like, they didn't show anything to do with the Vita at all.
The thing is, I was depressed because I wanted some new AAA titles for the Vita, but of course, after the whole Borderlands situation, that's probably few and far between now. But I hear that they did have a lot of Vita games on the floor.
Yeah, that's something. Their press conference, that's something else. They had a lot of Vita games playable over there. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, they showed off like a whole section for Vita. Like, that's the thing, like, that people don't see, and I think that they just presented it wrong because when you don't present or announce things, people assume that it's no longer there. They question, they forget about it. You have to remind the consumer. You have to pretend like they don't remember everything. You have to constantly remind them. And I think by them not mentioning things about the Vita or by them not showing or announcing certain games that they have, it's bad. So I don't like that at all, to be honest with you.
Anybody try to play Destiny on their Vita?
I seen you were doing it. I seen you tweet that picture.
Yeah, it didn't work. It was bad. It was fine at the tower, but everywhere else it just didn't work. All right, I know we can talk all night about Sony, but I really want to talk about Nintendo too. So is it okay if we move on to Nintendo, guys?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
All right. So I'm going to start off. Let's go with 9 to 5 Gamers because if anybody has been Nintendo's champion on this show, it's got to be you. What did you think of their? It's not a press conference, right? It was like a video
digital event,
spectacular.
Whatever.
Yeah, sure, digital event.
Nintendo Direct, yeah.
What did you think? Did it get you excited? Did it sell you on a Wii U? You already have a Wii U, but did it get you excited?
I I thought for instance, I'm gonna start off talking about their show. Their show was the best done show because it was not live, and all the robot chicken shit was awesome. That was probably the best part. I was laughing so damn hard. Oh my god! But
I like the fight scene at the beginning.
The fight scene, man.
When you not too nerdy, when you sent me that video when they're like fighting to that song, I was laughing.
I couldn't post it on YouTube, but I had a video that I made that I put that song "Turn Down for What" with Lil Jon, and like you see them fighting to that song.
It was great. It was a great song. But yeah, I felt like they came out strong. Like, and their video, not to mention their video quality on the video itself was done like on another level. Like it was really high quality done. You could tell they used some really stoked like cameras. Their camera angles and all that stuff are great. But yeah, when they came out and they talked about like, well, Yoshi Yarn, what everyone thought was Yoshi Yarn, got Woolly World or whatever the hell it is. Yeah. When they came out and talked about that, I was really excited for that. Zelda looks amazing. Yeah, the game it's cool because when you see them run around and they're jumping, it's like the whole world's soft, you know, which is a great aspect to add to the game. And they showed off the little amiibo or whatever the hell it is, the little characters.
Sure. My kids are going to cost me a fortune with that one.
Yeah, that could end up being like the Skylanders killer if they do it right, you know, not to mention sell a shitload of Nintendo systems because of that reason alone. Because I don't know, for people who don't have kids love that shit. But yeah, I was stoked.
Speaking of Amiibo, like if they bring Pokemon to that, they even announce it. If they ever bring Pokemon, it's game over because
that's a wrap, dude.
That's you collect the Pokemon. That's how you capture the Pokemon. You collect those.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and then I don't know if you've seen that, but every one of those characters, like for instance, they showed the Mario, and they were playing Smash Brothers with the Mario, and it had like a level, and the level was like 50 or whatever. That's going to be super cool for people that have like their boys over and play Smash Brothers. That's going to be genius.
Yeah, I wonder. You know, they said that they'd work with a bunch of games too. So like they'll work with Mario Kart, they'll work with Smash Brothers, they'll work with a bunch of games. So I wonder if that level will carry over to each game, or if you'll have to build that level up for each game. I wonder.
Yeah, well, I was wondering that myself. And another thing that they didn't bring up, which was weird, is there's Mario Kart DLC coming out, and they didn't talk about it, which is weird to me. So I'm assuming they're going to do a direct just for that. There's it's all new battle modes. They're bringing back all the original exclusive battle modes and 5 characters. So,
you know, like people would get shocked when someone mentioned DLC with Nintendo.
I do, yeah.
There's like the doctor from Luigi's Mansion is going to be in Mario Kart. Diddy Kong, a bunch of other bad guys like the Koopa Troopa guys or whatever. And then they're bringing back like the bomb pass and all this other shit. So I'm surprised they didn't talk about that at all.
So how about Mario Maker? You gonna be playing some Mario Maker?
Yeah, that looks like it could be like another, in a sense, Little Big Planet. You know, you got all these people creating all these wild worlds, and you can switch it on the fly to 2D or like the 3D type of Mario.
The newer new Super Mario Brothers style from the Wii U. They didn't say if you'd be able to upload them though. They didn't.
Yeah, I hope they do that. That would be genius. Not to mention it would sell a lot more copies of that game.
Yeah, I'll buy it. I'll buy it day one if they got to say it though. They got to say that you can upload and download other people's levels.
And then they showed Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'm pretty excited for that game. I think I'm more excited for that game than whatever. That game, I guarantee you when that game comes out, it's gonna win RPG of the Year when that game comes out. I guarantee you.
Dude, that was horrible.
Dude, I want to spray my ink all over the place playing Splatoon.
Yeah, that game's gonna be awesome too. Oh my
God. It took me a second to think about what you were saying.
Did that game not remind you of like old school Nickelodeon? Like that's all I think about when I see that. I'm like, this is a Nickelodeon game. Yeah.
Brett, I know that you're looking forward to Super Smash Brothers. What else?
Yeah.
What else about the Nintendo conference got you so excited?
The Nintendo Direct / E3 2014 conference to me was. Whoa. It was. Try saying that 3 times. No. I was very surprised by that. There was a lot of people talking a lot of shit about Nintendo early on, that they were afraid, they didn't have any games, they didn't want to go up against Sony and Microsoft. I think if they didn't win it, they were right there at the top. I mean, I'm a Sony fanboy to the heart. I love Sony. I love Sony products, and I was very happy with the Sony conference, other than the dip in the middle. But if I wasn't as in the Sony camp like you are assimilated into the Apple camp, my good friend BriarRabbit, I would give this whole E3 to Nintendo. They showed some games that looked amazing. They showed the Smash Brothers, of course, looked great. They debuted the Mii characters for Smash, which you can actually create your own characters. There's a bevy of moves that you can combine to make your own unique character. They showed it the Hyrule Warriors, which looked great. I didn't think that game would look as good and feel as refreshing as it did when I saw it. I saw the early footage of that game. Now it feels great. The game that they showed that really got my blood boiling and got me more excited than anything else was The Legend of Zelda. When I saw that and realized that it's finally, after all these years, a true open world experience, it looks that good.
I don't get the Skyrim comparison, though. I mean, okay, it's an open world, but Skyrim comparisons were all over the place with that game.
Really? How?
In the press. In the press.
Well, from the size? Well, the thing is, we weren't shown any real, size.
Like, the only thing he said was like everything you could see in the distance you could get to. To me, that's the only comparison with Skyrim you can make with that game, right?
Yeah, well, people reach. They reach.
Yeah, that's true.
That's Halo. Halo reach.
Zelda's like 100 times better than Skyrim ever did.
That game looks phenomenal, man. The thing is, it isn't the Zelda that we were given the little preview glimpse of back in, I think it was 2012, when they showed us what Zelda could look like when he was fighting the big spider. It's a different world. To me, it's kind of a mix of that Zelda generation with the cel-shaded Wind Waker type of situation. It looks like a mix of those two. Zelda looks like a young, pretty girl. I mean, Link looks like a young, pretty girl. And so it was weird, but it looks great. I like the fact that these enemies seem to be extremely aggressive. If that was real, I mean, if that was actually someone controlling it, which of course I don't think that was actual gameplay, it might have been the real world. But the way those enemies come after you, that blew my mind. It looked really good. I'm super excited about Mario Maker. I don't know how it's going to be implemented. The game is going to be on 3DS, I believe, and the Wii U. And you use your controller and the stylus, and you can make your levels, and you can upload them, and people can play them. And I think we've all, at some point in time, thought about making a Mario stage, playing, the old school Super Mario Brothers. And I don't know if they're able to implement maybe designs from the previous Mario games, kind of like the way they did with Pac-Man Ultimate Edition DX, how you could play as different versions of Pac-Man in that game. If they could maybe have, from Mario World, Super Mario World, maybe Mario 2, Mario 1, 8-bit sprites, different characters that you could put into different types of worlds, because I'm sure the Wii U is able to do that. But I thought Nintendo did great. Xenoblade looks like it's going to be awesome. For those who don't like it, it's one of the best RPGs out.
It's the only game in history to be re-released for a more price than the original version.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome RPG. But I mean, like I said, I thought that the whole presentation when Reggie, I think his last name's Fils-Aimé, is that how it's pronounced?
Nailed it, actually.
When they were fighting was just ridiculously stupid, and they're looking hard as hell too, mugging each other. I like the whole Robot Chicken thing. I think it just felt good. I think they wanted us to remember who they were. We're Nintendo. You guys know who we are. We're going to give you some games, and I think they nailed it. It was a great show.
Not too nerdy. Did they recapture the magic, or?
All right, this is what I'm going to say. First of all, a couple things I'm going to say good, and there's one thing I'm going to say that's bad. But it's really not a really bad thing, but I think that they had a really, really good press conference. Give us the bad first. Give us the bad first. But here's the problem, Randy. I think that they could have been perfect. They could have had a perfect one. And the thing that stopped it was a couple things. We know that the Wii U needs consoles sold now, not later, now. They didn't say, they said 2015 for Zelda. What's making me even more upset is they didn't give a name for Zelda, which means that I would not be shocked if that game comes in 2015, they say it's delayed to 2016. They didn't even mention a name for Zelda, which no one paid attention to. Everyone's so excited, oh yeah, Zelda, Wii U. They didn't even give a name for it. The fact they didn't give a name, do you know how long it takes for you to get a name, to put a placement holder for it, and all that other stuff? It takes a while for you to not even have a name to give you something feeling that, okay, they're close to it. And another thing, by the way, for the Zelda game, no one really said that that's Link, by the way. That might not be Link. They even hinted that it might not be Link. They try to say that. When the creator said that, who said it's Link? They're trying to.
Wow, okay.
It might not be Link. So that's why everyone's saying it sort of looks like a female. It could be Princess Zelda. Who knows? It could be the daughter of, like that. I mean, you never know who it is. You know what I mean? That's what they're hinting at. So
nobody has sex in Nintendo worlds. It can't
I'm just saying though, they're hinting at. They could have just said that to confuse people, but who knows? They might be right. It might not be Link. Just to throw it out there. But
Mario's getting that peach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What if it's a reboot though? What if they just reboot it as The Legend of Zelda? What if that is the working title, The Legend of Zelda?
I don't think they're gonna reboot. They're gonna do, and then they're gonna confuse which time period it's in, like they always do. They don't even tell you which time period it is. But Star Fox, another game that's not even close to being finished. That it's not even close to being finished, but yet they put it out there to tease people. And it's the Star Fox Wii U. You can tell Star Fox and all that stuff. They hinted towards it, and they officially said it is Star Fox. But it's not there yet. It's still ways off. And they said it should be out 2015. But at the same time, both of those are looking at, since the stuff I said, if they do come out, they're probably gonna be towards the end of 2015. So what's selling you the Wii U right now? Besides Smash Bros. Because not everyone likes Smash Bros. Not everyone likes fighter games. So I think that's where I think they missed the opportunity for it. They were doing so great. The games that they had, Splatoon, which that game looks like a lot of fun, and they found a way to bring a shooter that's non-violent to Nintendo, which is going to sell like crazy because it's non-violent shooter, which, that is unheard of, to be honest with you. You really don't hear people running around shooting ink at each other. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. All right, what are you going to say?
Speaking of the Nintendo pedigree, what do you think about this Bayonetta 2? I mean, I saw that trailer, and I saw what the game looked like, and she's able to switch it to Nintendo character costumes.
When I was looking at it, that's another thing I told 95 Gamers. Is that I think they have a great line. They have that game. They have another exclusive. If I look real quick, they have another exclusive.
Devil's whatever.
Devil's Third. It was supposed to be out for PS3 and Xbox 360, and what happened? THQ went out of business, and then Nintendo's now publishing it. Now they have an exclusive, which is going to be M-rated. I don't even know how many M-rated games there are for Nintendo, period, but it's definitely going to be an M-rated game because there's cursing, there's nudity, there's a lot of blood. It's very violent. When I saw it, I can't believe it's on Wii U.
When I saw that, I actually thought about Manhunt. When they showed Manhunt on the Wii, I was like, this is coming out on the fucking Wii?
Yeah, it's shocking. It's very bloody, extremely bloody. But, the stuff that they have, it's good stuff. But if you look at the release date, Bayonetta is coming out in October. Do you know how many games are coming out in October? That game is going to be overlooked because of the time slot.
Yeah, that's not a top-tier game.
Yeah, and you're looking at these games there for Nintendo when they're being released. And that's the thing. I'm like, man, it sucks because they have this good lineup, but I feel like people got excited about the Zelda, got excited for the Star Fox, but they're not going to buy that console till then because they feel like if that's the game that they really want, by the time those games come out, the console will be even cheaper than it is now. So what do you?
Is it going to come out this generation?
Yeah, that's the thing. You're not really persuading people to buy it now, but you're definitely putting in their mind that I want to buy that console. So I'll definitely say that. This conference, definitely made a lot of people say, I want a Wii U. But the question is, when do they want it? Are they going to just wait for when Zelda comes out? Are they just going to wait for Star Fox? So.
Not to mention the good thing about Bayonetta, talking about that again, is you get both the games, which is cool for the people that never played Bayonetta 1.
I think that's amazing.
It's very cool.
That's amazing because the people, that's unheard of. That's, you didn't play part 1, here's part 1, and then play part 2 right afterwards. That's amazing for the same price. But I feel bad for them at the same time because, the time period of when this is all happening, I feel like it's going to get overlooked. Because I think they really did a great job, and I just feel like the little thing like a name and, a guaranteed name and stuff will make people feel even better because you feel like it's almost completed. But the fact that they didn't even give a name seems like it's leaning towards the end of 2015 and it's going to be a further away.
I wonder if it's going to be like the situation where we had with was it the GameCube and the Wii where the Zelda came out on both systems? Like the same
Twilight
game?
Princess.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be the same thing with Nintendo's next generation console, which I'm sure is on the, in the drawing board right now.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I did want to say though is that I honestly think that Nintendo once again pretty much showed everyone how to do it, and I would not be surprised from now on if in the upcoming future E3 is gonna be like Nintendo, where they're not gonna be live. They're gonna try to do it pre-recorded because it seems like anytime something's live, things go wrong. For Sony, you saw that. Things go wrong where the mic wasn't working too great, they had audio problems, they had problems where people did a live demo of like Little Big Planet 3, like you said, they couldn't jump too well, and these are people...
It was the girl, it was all her fault, she couldn't launch it.
I'm saying, like, stuff like that, it's hard to do live, you know, things don't go well, and Nintendo like put their money towards other things, like a Smash Brothers tournament, which I saw, which was extremely fun to be there and be a part of. I thought that was great, which Mega Man's gonna be a beast, by the way. Just saying, throwing it out there. The guy that used Mega Man.
But he did not win.
Yeah,
he did not win. I just wanted to let you know
that.
Who won?
That guy who used Mega Man was horrible. Zero Suit Samus cheated.
Yeah, that was OP power for sure, man.
No, she won. The person that played her won because there was a rule in the tournament that saying that if no one beats the other person in a certain time limit, it automatically goes to sudden death. And Kirby was winning the whole time, and Kirby's winning, trying to finish it, and the time's running out. So Zero Suit Samus was like dodging Kirby the whole time till the time ran out. So then it went to sudden death, and the first hit, if you hit someone once, the game's over.
Oh, so that's a bad rule. That's not cheating. It's a bad rule.
For the finals, and that's why people said Zero Suit Samus, and that's what people. It was a tweet # Zero Suit Samus stolen. They said that she just stolen the whole time. So.
Yep.
But. Robbie, what do you think? Nintendo, was the conference overhyped, or was it everything that you were hoping for?
Well, here are my thoughts on Nintendo's conference.
Here we go.
Please. I did not enjoy it. I'm not kidding you. I did not enjoy it. I'm sorry. I did not like it. Like, okay, look.
Just
I can't even think. I'm just laughing. Okay. So the Robot Chicken segments, those were great. I love that. The fighting with Reggie and Iwata was great. There was nothing at that conference that got me that excited. I have to be honest. Like Zelda.
Did you see?
We knew that was coming. Like. What's so exciting? Star Fox is
quality
like
games.
Probably gonna be there. Like, there's just nothing that got me that excited. I was like,
did you see Bayonetta's moves?
That was pretty exciting.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't be the only one, but see, the thing is, me and my friend Liam, we had an argument about this. He thought the Nintendo conference was amazing. I was just like, you're out of your mind. I didn't enjoy it, but he might be watching the show actually right now. So shout out to you, Liam, if you're watching. But I don't know. I just didn't get that excited about anything they showed. I didn't find anything that interesting. Like Yoshi's Woolly World actually looked pretty cute. I got kind of excited about that. That looked like it could be pretty fun. But
like it looked good to me, but I don't know if I'd buy it. I don't know if I'd actually buy it to play.
Exactly. Like it just paled in comparison so much to all the other conferences. I hate to say it.
I think that Nintendo, guys, is kind of an acquired taste. I mean, guys our age, Dave, you know, we've been around for a long time. We've been around with Nintendo since its inception. We know that Nintendo has a certain palette of games that they like to really push out there for their consumers. We have strong emotional ties to these franchises. You know what I mean, guys?
See, I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're the new era. You're Generation X.
Generation mature.
Yeah, mature only. A lot of these guys are more into, you know, guns a blazing, Call of Duty, Battlefield type of games. And so when you see something that's more fantasy oriented, like, you know, a platformer like a Mario game, or, you know, you see something like Kirby, a lot of people grew up playing those games and they want to go back to that nostalgia and play them, and it's a Nintendo thing. And that's why Nintendo is successful to a degree, is because they have people who still have those emotional bonds to them. But the younger generation, you gotta push out stuff like Bayonetta. You gotta push out stuff like I'm trying to remember the one that just got sold by who THQ lost. That looks kind of like I'm trying to think. It looked kind of like Resident Evil to me. The one that's coming out for the Wii U.
Devil's Third, was that it?
Devil's Third, yeah. the newer generation will gravitate more toward those games, and the older franchises like Mario, Metroid, Kirby will go to the older gents and the younger kids. People will have emotional ties, and kids will enjoy them. But Nintendo is definitely something that it's an acquired thing, and I think like my kids, they like the Nintendo press conference because I liked it. But I don't think if they watched it on their own and they were by themselves, they would have liked it as much as Microsoft or Sony for that matter.
Beastly.
Yes.
I'm not poking fun at you, but the way you make yourself sound like you're that old. You're not that old. Just to throw it out there. The way you said it, like, hey, you kids today have like 1080p. Back in the day, I had 2p, and that was Pong. You know what I mean?
I had to build a windmill to start my NES.
Yeah. You remember those days, Briar. No, I guess I'm like this all the time. I got 2 teenage sons and 2 little girls. And everywhere I go, I'm dad, and everybody's asking for advice, and they want to spend time, and you just feel like it, I do feel old, honestly. I remember playing my Nintendo, and that was the new shit.
Stop feeling old. This is me trying to stop feeling
Beastly,
old.
you're depressing the hell out of me right now. Look, Nintendo used to make games that spoke to me, but they were also so graphically kind of basic that I could interpret anything I wanted out of Zelda. If I wanted Zelda to be like a teenage kid or a kid or an adult, he could have been any one of those things. Yeah. As the graphics have gotten better, Nintendo has kind of stuck with this really cutesy art style and, very, I don't know, just a light and E for everybody kind of atmosphere that doesn't really speak to me anymore. I'm an adult and I play mature games. I want adult content. Same. That's what I'm into. So when I look at things like Kirby or Captain Toad Treasure Tracker or Yoshi's Woolly World, even Splatoon, these things don't speak to me anymore. Splatoon looks like it has a fun mechanic. I can't imagine that mechanic. It almost looks like a gimmick that is going to keep me playing that game for a year, and that's how I play shooters. Yoshi's Woolly World, it looks kind of fun, but on PlayStation 4 we have Little Big Planet 3, which looks very similar, and you get to share all these levels, and you get the whole internet making levels for you. Here's the thing with Yoshi's Woolly World is it's developed by Nintendo, though. It's gonna have a good jump.
Yes.
But Nintendo, I feel like overwhelmingly the internet believes that Nintendo won E3, but I don't see it at all. I completely disagree because Nintendo did not sell any Wii U's. I don't think. They did not show anything that was so off the chain ridiculous that was coming out this year that it's gonna fly off the shelves. Everybody's known about Super Smash Brothers. Everybody dismisses the fact that it got delayed. Splatoon, I don't see it. Hyrule Warriors, I don't like Dynasty Warriors. I don't understand why it's so good if you add Zelda and Link into it. Bayonetta 2, I feel like that is a last generation game, and it's on a last generation console, so it fits there. Mario Maker was the only thing that really got me excited, and I knew about that because it leaked. So there were 2 games that got me super excited this year that I didn't know about. One of them was on Microsoft's console, and that was Ori. And one of them was Mario Maker. So everything else just felt like a kid's game to me.
Couldn't agree more.
I don't mean to rant, but...
With that said, do you think you're ready to go for the winner of E3?
Why don't we move on to that? How do you guys want to do that? You want me to start since I've already kind of said that it wasn't Nintendo?
Yeah, that's what I said. You're right there.
All right,
so
I actually made a video of this, so it's no secret. I believe that Sony won this E3. They had the worst press conference, but they did the most exciting things. They let us play 3 games that we'd never gotten to play for. 2 of them were free. One of them was an alpha, one of them was a beta, and one of them was a full release game. They did not lose any ground, right? And that is probably the only thing that bad could have happened to Sony, right? Is they were in the lead, they stayed in the lead. They have a bright future. They did not fuck it up, and that is a big deal. They won E3. That is why. They did not fuck up.
Thumbs up, Sony, you didn't fuck up.
They are in the lead, and they stayed there. They won E3.
Can I go next? Can you jump to me? All right, cool.
Yeah.
I want to hear this.
All right. So I'm just gonna get my grades real quick. Just real quick that Microsoft I think that they had a solid presentation, but when you went to the show floor, I don't think they brought enough. Like all the stuff that they talked about, they even talked about Crackdown. We didn't even mention. Crackdown to me, like I feel like they started out great, and that Crackdown for me was not in the right space. I don't think Crackdown's a big enough game for you to be like, I need that game, and for that to be your last game, your big hitter, like compared to Sony, for example, was Uncharted, which is, that is their game right now. That's the game that everyone cares about right now, right? But like Microsoft ended it with Crackdown. I know that's a surprise, but they already pretty much hinted towards that. But the fact that that was their main game, that's not like, it's kind of scary. They didn't bring stuff on the show floor. So I still gave them a B, though, because I think that was solid. When you go to Sony, though, Sony started out with a bang. Started out great. Then they had a huge 40 minutes, like I said, that was not that great. That they went over things they needed to, but they cut down on it. Not to mention, they didn't mention Project Morpheus to anyone. They just said for 2 seconds, Project Morpheus, but they showed it. There's a lot of things they didn't present or tell people in the presentation, but they introduced it on the show floor. And the show floor presentation for them was booming. Like, everyone was there. Between them and Nintendo, they were there. So I still, with everything, that huge gap of, like, problems, I know that they brought games, but I give them a B also. They're like Microsoft. They literally are the same level, in my opinion, to Microsoft, B. Now, Nintendo, on the other hand, had a presentation that had comedy in it, and they went out there and they brought games to people. And here's the thing, that as much as I don't agree with Nintendo sometimes, and I want to say right now, 9to5 Gamers, you were right, in my opinion, before when you said that you think Nintendo is going to win, and I believe that they did win. And here's the reason why they won, because they showed games for all ages. There's at least one game you can relate to for every single person, whether you're a child, whether you're an adult. They brought the gory game that people wanted, right? They're like that game's there. They brought the games of their adventure game. They brought the titles. They announced new characters for Smash Bros. They announced the ones that people wanted to hear, like a Star Fox game. They wanted to announce a Zelda game. They said those stuff. Now, it wasn't perfect. I think they just won because I think they got a B+, which is good enough to beat everyone else. But with that said, I don't think this conference changed anything. I think that the position everyone was in before the conference, I think it's going to stay like that after the conference. I don't think this conference literally did anything to change anyone's position. I really feel that everyone's going to be the same exact position going into the way they came into E3. They're going to leave E3 the same way. But I still say Nintendo won the conference. But was it enough? I don't know if it's enough to sell the Wii U's, because they need to do that now. And I think a lot of those people might wait to purchase those Wii U's. But then again, another thing, by the way, once Nintendo sells in Japan or in China, which, by the way, China has these rules. Nintendo's the only ones that qualify for all those rules. So that might completely change up the Wii U console sales. Who knows? Especially when you have the Pokemon and all that stuff there in China, you never know what they're going to sell there. So they might sell a lot of consoles in China. But I still say that they won. So that's pretty much it.
Well said. 9to5 Gamers, what did you think?
See, and I switched mine up because I don't think anybody won. I don't think anybody solidly won this shit. Like, seriously, because the games we saw that were amazing from all these companies, Halo, Uncharted, Zelda, you saw zero gameplay of all of those, and all the games I wish that were announced were not announced. Like, I wanted to see Shenmue, I wanted to see freaking I wanted to see Star Fox. I wanted to see that shit. I wanted to see I wanted to see The Last Guardian. All these games. I can make a big ass list of all the games that were a disappointment to me. It was sad, actually. I was sad. All the shows were good all the way through, but it's like the games that I really wanted to see were not announced, and I don't know where the fuck they are, or if they're in limbo or something, or if they're not going to get made.
So 9to5
it bothers me.
I should have let you go first because I look like an idiot. Thanks.
No. Your point was good that they. Your point was good that they did make Nintendo made something for everybody, And the only problem I see with Devil's Third is that it does look last gen as hell. It looks like an awesome game, but if that's like a alpha version of that game, more the power to it. But it looks way dated. It looks like a PS3 game, like first gen PS3 game.
But it's in development for a long time. They've been developing it. They were developing it for PS3 and 360, and then THQ went out of business. So it's for that console. So that's the way it is. Like they were pre-developing since back then. So.
I don't know. I heard like that Nintendo was gonna announce like GameCube, virtual games and all that shit. Like that would have been cool. That would have been awesome. They didn't do that, and it would have made sense because they're coming out with a GameCube controller.
Yeah,
You're idiots for that.
God. What the?
You're dumb.
Is that? Yeah. That is. I agree with you. 95.
A lot of people made horrible excuses for the council that they like to be like, oh, they won, or this council won, or that council won. I don't feel any of them brought decent enough shit to so-called be claimed a winner.
Okay.
I think the better ones were the game companies themselves. Their conferences were probably the best because they had the most shit to talk about. But
Beasley, what'd you think? Who won E3 this year?
Well, I want to talk about kind of the way that Not Too Nerdy did and give you guys my scores and kind of take a few jabs at him with this little comment here. I think that Microsoft did really well overall. I think Phil Spencer, came out and was very personable. They did nothing but games. But the problem I had with Microsoft was that they didn't show the games that people really wanted to see. Kind of the same way that he said, Crackdown is not really a big deal. It wasn't a big deal for them to end on something like that. They didn't show any of Halo Guardians to really get the audience or the people behind it and excited about it. The biggest thing that they shown, whether we want to admit it or not, was the Master Chief Collection. That was the thing that the most murmuring was going on, was over a game that everyone has played many times throughout their life. Of course, they did have Ori and the Blind Forest, which is a nice-looking game. But overall, Sunset Overdrive was a really nice-looking game. The games that people really wanted to see didn't show up. You didn't get any Gears of War. You didn't get any Halo. And for them to end the way they did with Crackdown 3 and show, gameplay that wasn't actually gameplay, it was CG render, took away a little bit from that conference for me. But overall, I gave them a pretty decent score. Now, Nintendo, I really liked Nintendo's conference. I thought that, like Not Too Nerdy said, they did have something for everybody. But for me, Nintendo is an acquired taste. Are those the kind of, like what BriarRabbit said, are those the kind of games that you want to play? Yeah, it looks nice seeing Kirby. It looks nice to see, Yoshi. Smash Brothers is something that even an adult can play and have a good time. The Legend of Zelda is, but a lot of games Nintendo are creating are centered or sent out for the younger audience, preteens or tweens. And it was fun to watch. I enjoyed the whole conference, but the games themselves, a lot of those games weren't for me. The reason I want to kind of poke at Not Too Nerdy is Sony had games for everybody too. Sony had Little Big Planet 3. They had, The Order 1886. They had Batman. They had games that all ages could enjoy, and the thing was, they showed games that people really wanted to see. People wanted to see Mortal Kombat. People wanted to see gameplay of Batman. People wanted to see at least some kind of reveal for Uncharted. People wanted to see The Last of Us Remastered, which is the one I wanted probably the most out of everything that Sony showed. So for me, Sony, even though they did have a nice decline in the pacing, they showed more games that interested me. They showed a lot of Destiny at the very beginning of the conference, and you guys are all playing the Destiny Alpha, and I'm sure that you're all having a hell of a time playing that.
Yeah, it's really fun. Let me tell you about it.
Awesome.
Not only that, Sony they revealed some stuff that was available from that moment, from the moment that they announced it, and we were able to go and play it and enjoy it. You could get right on the PlayStation Network and download this game now and play it. The alpha will be available now. The beta will be available now. And that's something that Nintendo didn't offer and Microsoft didn't offer. I think overall all three did pretty well. But the reason I give the overall to Sony is because they had the games for everybody, and they actually showed off the games that everybody wanted to see. People wanted to see The Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo Wii U, and they got that. So Nintendo did similar. But people wanted to see Uncharted for the PlayStation 4. They wanted to see The Last of Us on PS4, but not only that, they got a chance to see all these other games on PS4 that were very exciting. They got to see actual gameplay for the first time of Mortal Kombat. They got to see Destiny actual gameplay, doing something different. And so on top of the games that they showed, the fact that they were giving away, not so much giving away alphas and betas, but they had access to all this stuff for the Sony PS4 audience, to me, they won hands down over Nintendo and Microsoft.
All right. Fair
All
enough.
right, well said.
Stab.
I'm just saying, just to let you know, when you have a gap in between, though, like the problem is people forgot how good Sony's press conference was. That's the thing, though. And I think that's the presentation value. They forget because it's such a huge gap in between.
Yeah.
I agree with you, not too nerdy, but to me, yeah, they had the worst presentation. I would absolutely say that, but they excited me the most anyway.
Right. I'm excited for the games they had. I just meant like for E3 itself because that's the thing. Like, and plus, there's so many games they didn't announce that's on the show floor, which I think is why I deducted points. Because how are you not going to announce Drive Club when that's coming out in October? When your competitor announced a racing game, like how are you not going to announce that game?
It sucks that they do it.
And no, not only that, it's coming out with the crew too, which is crazy. Like they're releasing those 3 games to battle one another.
I'll put this right now. I played that. That game I did not know it was that good. The Drive Club. It looks great. It looks better than Forza Horizon too. It looks better than Forza.
Wow.
And it looks better than Forza. The problem because they decided to go with detail and everything. The background. It's not just a car anymore. Everything else is detailed as well. Like if you're driving around, there's a leaf that falls on the floor. You actually see the leaves blow away and stuff. Like you actually see things, and that's why it's only 30 frames per second because they decided to detail everything. You know what I'm saying? And Forza Horizon.
Did Robbie get a chance to go yet for this?
No, he hadn't gone yet.
All right, let's do Robbie, and then we'll really get into it here.
I want to hear this because I know Robbie got my back. Let's go, baby.
Okay. I probably have to agree with 9 to 5 on this. I don't think anybody of the big 3 won E3. I think who really won E3 was the fans of the games industry, the fans of video games in general, like us. We won because we get to enjoy all this great medium and great games that these companies battle to put out the best content and software for us to enjoy. So I feel like we won as consumers.
Dude,
I feel like 2015 wins.
Yeah.
How many games?
Talk to me in a year.
Robbie, that's like a politician answer right there. I like that.
That was good.
I'm going to make him answer it whether he wants to or not. Okay, Robbie, check this out.
Sony, obviously. Okay, there you go.
If you didn't have any of these consoles, you didn't have the PS4, the Wii U, or the Xbox One, and you had to pick one of the consoles based on the conference that you saw at E3, which one would you pick?
Ouya.
Ouya. That was random. That's awesome.
That's why I would.
He's pleading the fifth. Okay,
right.
Dave, who did you pick? I mean, did you want to elaborate at all? I heard you say that you liked what you saw the most out of Sony. Can you tell us a little bit why?
Well, I mean, Destiny looked fantastic. I realize it's a multi-platform game, but Sony let me play it. That was amazing. I really let's see. Let me bring up my little list of all the games so I can actually
scroll that list, baby. Scroll that list.
I wasn't excited about the Killzone stuff at all, but the Order. A lot of people were complaining about the Order, but what I saw looked exciting. Maybe it's not going to be a huge open world game. Maybe it's going to be a nice focused single player campaign, and I dig that every once in a while. I like playing through a nice story mode. Entwined, getting that the day of, that was amazing. I downloaded it. I enjoyed it. It's for $10. It's a chill game. It's not a pulse pounder, but it's kind of cool the way you have to manipulate the two sticks at the same time, and the game's got a lot of heart. I really liked it. Little Big Planet 3, I don't know, man. They got to learn how to use the jumping mechanic in that game.
They're just going to have a better woman play.
Blood porn might have been my favorite part of the entire conference. When he says blood porn, I'm like, blood porn?
Oh, yeah.
There might have been some slow parts of that show, but man, that was a good part.
Yeah. That was like the most awkward trend on Twitter, blood porn. Like hashtag blood porn. I'm like, that's so awkward.
Abzu got me excited. That's by the guys who made Journey. Journey was a fantastic game. This game looks like, more of the same underwater. I'm very excited for it. I will definitely play that game day of. And then the way they ended it with Uncharted 4. I love the Uncharted series. It's one of my favorite. It makes me feel like I'm Indiana Jones, and that's something I've dreamed of since I was a child.
Crystal Skull,
Microsoft,
Crystal Skull, Indiana, or before Crystal Skull?
I had never heard of what you're talking about right now.
You never saw Crystal
Microsoft.
Skull?
I don't know what you're talking about. Microsoft. I felt like the biggest thing of the show was like that they put Conquer and Project Spark and Halo, their Halo Remix Edition. And like I said before, I played the shit out of Halo when it was new. I don't need to play it again. Project Spark, it seemed like an exciting idea last E3, but it's been in beta all year. You can play it right now, and it's just to me, it hasn't gone anywhere.
It is shit. It runs so framey and horrible.
Yeah, Crackdown was a nice surprise when you bought it so that you could play the Halo 2 beta. Right? Halo 3 beta.
Yeah.
It was a nice surprise. Hey, this game is actually not too shabby. It's kind of fun being in an open world and jumping around. But that has been done to death since. What are they going to bring in Crackdown that we haven't seen in a million other games since Crackdown, the original? And like Scalebound got me excited until I saw the Beats headphones and like the emo asshole teenager. Like, I'm not interested in that game at all.
And then he turned into some bark or some shit.
I told you last week, those Beats headphones, man.
You've got to get rid of those. No.
Just let you know, I didn't understand that. This is supposed to be Microsoft exclusive, and they have Beats in that Apple. I'm just throwing it out there. When I saw that, I'm like, wait a second. That's Apple. Why is he wearing Beats? Just saying. It got
those
to me.
Were clearly Beat headphones. Like, they might have not had a B there, but they were clearly Beats.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to me, Sony was a no-brainer. I agree with Robbie. We did win, but we'll only reap those rewards probably in 2015. This is going to be a lean year for gamers, I think.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys a question real quick before we go anywhere else, because we're kind of in the Sony thing. What did you guys think about The Last of Us enemies being included in the new Diablo?
Not much.
They already have.
Do you think that'll actually make people want to buy Diablo?
Well, they already have other exclusive content. They're doing it completely. That's not the only thing. The Last of Us was they just announced then, but they had other things. I forgot what other games, but they already announced it. That's the way they're doing it to make it exclusive for them. They're going to do the same thing for Xbox One.
Oh, wow.
They're going to do like exclusive from different games. They're just going to throw different random items. You can collect a special trophy for a different game. They're doing that already. They announced that a while ago, so it was just for The Last of Us, but I mean, they already announced they're going to do it for other games too. So I mean,
I prefer the Dead Rising Super Ultra Street Fighter Alpha
Hyper.
Hashtag Hyper. Yeah. I thought that was a pretty funny trailer. It didn't get me to want to throw Dead Rising back in though yet.
What about the infamous Last Light DLC?
The coolest part about that is it's standalone. Mm-hmm. I sold the game and I can still play it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
They always do standalone DLCs. That's how they roll. That's how the studio rolls. They always do that. They love doing standalone DLC, so it's perfect for other people. And like if you have it, still you get additional content.
You get extra content.
That's cool.
But my question is, do you need a disc or you just need to have it saved on your console still?
For the extra standalone, I don't know. I got my save still, so
that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's easy to save it, like that's why I'm like, I didn't know you have the disc or not. That's what I'm curious about.
Well,
running safe.
So no big Bloodborne fans. Nobody plays. What are the
Dark Souls?
Yeah, Dark Souls.
I was gonna say I played in the first 5 minutes. I didn't get a chance to play. So I keep saying I played, but someone else got to play in my group, which sucks. 'Cause I want to actually officially play. But here's the thing, like, it looks good. The frame rate's a little choppy right now, but it's still really early, so they can fix that. But like, it's definitely a successor to Demon Souls, not Dark Souls. That's like, it's back to Demon Souls type. So I think this is the way it should be. Like, it looks good. Like, I think it's gonna sell. That's definitely gonna sell. For all those fans out there that likes Dark Souls and stuff, it's going to sell.
Not to mention Japan people are gonna jump on that shit like crack.
All right,
Hey,
so I
guys.
think our official scoring goes like this. We got 2 votes for Sony, 1 vote for Nintendo, and 2 votes for fuck you.
Wait, so pretty much the biggest loser of E3 is everyone's bank accounts because we're all gonna be broke with all the damn games
Yeah,
we're
right.
buying.
Me, I don't have to show up yet.
Totally.
Especially in
Nintendo's
October,
gonna cost me the
November.
most money. That Amiibo thing, I saw that Amiibo thing happen. I was like, oh fuck, I'm so screwed. That is
Yeah,
gonna
you
cost me
are.
a fortune.
Because I will be too. Let me
Yeah.
ask you guys a question, and we probably won't be able to cover the other 2 conferences that happened during this show.
Yeah, I got
But
one more thing I want to go over before we end it too.
What did you guys think about Rainbow Six, the new multiplayer? 5v5. What did you think about that? I saw that, and at first I was like, this can't be the game, but then I heard the developer saying that, and people who played it, that was the actual game.
Mhm.
Did you see that game actually live not too early? And if you
Yeah.
did,
Well, I
was
played
that
it.
the actual, was that the real thing?
We got the chance to play it. Now the thing is, they only showed a short portion, it's 5 versus 5 or whatever, and it's slow tactics. I like that. I love this. It's back to thinking, and actually you're playing slow. Like, okay, you have to go here, you have to go there. And by the way, this game is not going to work without mics. I'm just saying, throwing it out there. I don't know how you're going to be able to talk to people without mics in this, because you have to tell people what location going. When you go here, I'm going to break in here. As soon as I break through this window, you have to shoot the person right there. You have to talk in this game. So I don't know.
The gameplay we saw, that was the real gameplay is what you're saying? That's the real deal.
It looked like that. It looked good to me. It looked
Jeez.
like, I mean, some parts you gotta keep in mind that there was some cutscene in there, but majority of it was the gameplay. What you saw was there. Of course, it was scripted the way they played it. That
Yeah,
was
the
the
way
demo.
they
They
did it was.
scripted
Yeah,
it.
to show you the way the teamwork is going to be.
because they purposely missed shots. Like, they could have definitely took out the one guy the whole time in the beginning. I don't know if you saw that. They could have ended it in the beginning. And
I watched that trailer 5
Missed
times.
him again. Oh, he disappeared to try to add suspense to it, but it really looks like that. And the thing is, it was just weird. Like, they only let me play a certain portion of it, and it wasn't like it's like a really, really brief demo, but from what I saw, it looks good. It can still change. You know, it's still very early in development. Not early in development, but it's early enough where they could change mechanics still.
I like the drone that you send under doors and people can't see it. That's fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
that was cool.
And
Yeah.
to me, like, I like that. I think it's a step back from where everything's trying to go fast-paced. Titanfall, Call of Duty, everything's trying to go fast-paced. Now you're going to take a step back to where it started with shooters, where it's strategy first, where you take your time and you have strategy first. And I like that. That's what I like. That's why mechanics like SWAT to me. Like, I used to love SWAT and stuff like that, where you strategize what you're going to do and stuff. But
Again, this is another one of those games, though, that I can imagine having a blast playing with you guys online.
Yeah.
But you put me on a team with a bunch of nobodies, or not nobodies, a bunch of randoms. No way. I don't want any part of it. This is a game that I can only play with friends.
Like,
Good.
I was thinking, like, this might be a game that they have to bundle with, like, a microphone or something. I feel like this is one of those games that they should be like, oh, let's bundle this with this mic or something to try to get people to buy a mic with that, because that's a game that you need a mic with, I feel. I remember in the past they did that with, was it Warhawk for the PS3 when it first came out?
Yep.
And then Soulcom.
Yeah.
Soulcom
Yeah, Soulcom, they
Confrontation.
do.
Yes.
I think this is a time for them to do it, that they have to bundle it in with the game to try to make people say, hey, you need a headset with this.
But both consoles come with headsets this time around.
Yeah, but those... I think it's a better headset. I'm sorry, a headset that works.
Turtle Beach. Throw like a couple of Turtle Beach headsets in
Yeah,
there.
I really think they do it because those headsets are weak, man. I already broke mine, by the way. I stepped on it.
The last thing I want to ask you guys, because I know Briar has something to say. I didn't get a chance to play Destiny. I want to hear what you guys got to say about that alpha, but I also want to hear what you guys think about Battlefield Hardline. I do have the beta for that. I played it, a little underwhelmed by what I saw. I felt like that game is going to be pretty much the exact same as Battlefield 4. It didn't feel any different to me other than the location and just the setting. And I want to know, what you guys thought about those two games, because I didn't get a chance to play, Bungie's game, but I did get a chance to play Hardline. Just tell me what you guys thought.
I didn't get a chance to play Hardline. I did see a lot of it at E3, though, like on Twitch, and it looks like downloadable content for Battlefield 4, and I think it should be
Thank you.
priced accordingly.
Thank you. Okay. Not too nerdy. Thoughts?
Sure. Hold on 1 second. Let me just.
Are you looking up how to escape a beehive?
No, I'm just looking at.
Okay.
That's what I thought about it. The dance battle. All right. Can you see that? Anyway, that's what I thought about the whole thing. It's fun. Destiny is so much fun. Like it's fun to play with other people, but like you can actually find people at the tower, and you could join up with people later. So it's not like you need people. It's more fun with friends, but you can still find people later in like the community to play with and stuff like that. So
it does a nice job of matchmaking too. Me and Robbie were playing when we were playing with another person on my friends list. We were playing the Devil's Lair mission. Robbie had to quit out, and we actually got another player, just joined right in, started playing cooperatively, became part of the team because we were playing on a mission, and it was just like, what else are you going to do? You got to be on part of the team, you know? So the matchmaking worked great. The multiplayer is great. I really like that kind of free roaming mode. There's basically 3 modes to that game. There's like the mission mode, the multiplayer mode, and like the kind of free roaming mode. It's unbelievable how much content like is just in that alpha. I can't wait for the disc to get released.
How many people were on that team? How many people were on your team?
3.
Three
So
for the mission. There's going to be, I want to say up to 6
4.
in the game. It's
4 is the max they're talking, yeah.
Okay.
So
But-
I wish it was 6 though.
When we were doing the mission though, we had 5 because we had 3 in our party, and then 2 more people were just there.
Yeah.
They're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
see, there's the thing though. I think that 3 can't be part of your mission. Okay, I saw extra people there, but they're not part of your mission. Like they
Right.
get sent their own mission, and they'll disappear. Like you'll see them there, and they might disappear.
Oh,
You
okay.
could literally take a
We're losing you, Brett. We got bad
Yeah.
connection over here.
I
I'm
just heard
right here.
T-Pain
I
talk.
lost
I
you
really
guys.
couldn't
I think it's
tell
all your
what was
fault.
going.
I heard some crazy
I'm on a
robot talking. I don't even know.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Can you guys
it's
hear me
funny.
okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I don't know. Destiny is super impressive. I had a ton of fun playing with you guys when we were doing the P versus P stuff. I mean, I feel like it's deep too, because I uploaded some videos of it, and I had people in the comments saying, "Oh, you got to try out this. You got to try the slide mechanic. You got to try this mechanic. You got to try that mechanic." I'm like, I didn't even know this shit existed. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait to try it now.
Didn't you find that weird that this is alpha and they didn't have any like training? They just threw everyone out there, like literally.
Don't
They
care.
didn't
I love
explain
it.
Nothing. I mean, that's cool to way, but
You
I'm
can
like,
go on their website and get more.
I read on your comments on your channel, the one guy told you that. I'm reading, I'm like, wow, like I didn't know any of this stuff, and I go there and try. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, there's so many mechanics, but there's so many things I wish that they had. Like, but I mean, for the most part, you never see party chats work right away like that. In games, like they're always broken. This is alpha version, and the good thing is when you have a leader that's like a low level, they go according to the level of the person. So like I was only level 5, and I'm matched up with people who are level 5, and so I'm not matched up with people who are too high away from me. You know what I mean? And it's so good. It works great. It's not uneven, the matches.
So is this game a day one purchase, BriarRabbit?
Oh yeah.
I know that Watch Dogs isn't for me and it isn't for you. You don't feel anything like that with this game. Obviously, it's day one, huh?
Absolutely. Gaming
No.
Legends, by the way, is the one who put all those tips
No,
on.
this is definitely like 3 weeks early. Like you go to New York 3rd Ave type thing. You get a bootleg. Like I'm just kidding. I'm just
He
kidding.
knows it's free. He knows it's free.
Hey,
Damn.
hey, find your boy with the coat.
Hey, you gotta have a man with a coat.
I was already on Amazon looking for what the pre-order bonuses are going to be. Like, I'm excited for this game, and we get to look forward to the beta in a month.
Yeah.
Do you think that this game will pull you away from Titanfall and Call of Duty? Right.
It will, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
You're saying that after the alpha?
What
Because
happened?
Dude, it is fun. It is fun.
Because it's
Here's
not
the-
just multiplayer. There's more to it than that. You have the story and multiplayer. There's more to it than just that.
And your
that's-
character,
The alpha.
Yeah.
Your character stays the same throughout both, and you can switch your equipment on the fly during the multiplayer match. Like, if you want to use a different gun that you have, you can switch it right there during the match, and then it will pop up next time you spawn.
Yeah, Brett, if you find some beast-ass gun in the single player, you can bring that into the multiplayer with you and beast on other players with it. Like, it stays as powerful as it was. It's crazy. It is.
But the cool thing is, you're not. If you have like a different, what I noticed before, if you're leveling up quicker because they're finding rare things and stuff like that, you actually are matched up evenly. Though you're gonna be matched up with other people that have that stuff. That's why I noticed before. You're matched with people that have that. I got like a special like gun that's like a 97 or whatever for the sniper gun. They just gave me a reward for that. And then the next thing I noticed, there's 2 other people in the match that had it the same as that gun I did, which I thought is supposed to be rare. I'm like, wait a second, I just got a 97 like sniper gun, and all of a sudden everyone, like 2 other people have it. They're trying to make it even, which is cool.
Yeah, fuck snipers.
And Beast,
tell us how you really feel. Damn.
Another thing that's super cool is on the multiplayer, when you're playing, like say you do really good in a match, you'll unlock some equipment that you didn't have before, and your team can look at what you unlocked. Like they can just put the cursor over it, and they'll know what you unlocked and look at all the stats for it and stuff.
Yeah,
which is super cool.
That's crazy.
You can buy spaceships. You can buy speeder bikes. I mean, it's so deep and so rewarding to play. You know, you get that loot grab from Diablo, but you also have the tight gameplay of Halo and the world exploring of Borderlands. I mean, it's awesome.
And it sounds like loot from Borderlands too. They put $500 million into this game, right?
Yeah. Yep.
$500 million.
They're gonna get that back in 2 days.
And another thing is the game runs like flawlessly. Like there's no screen tearing. I don't notice any problem with the game, with the way the game runs, which is surprising because it's like you said, it's alpha.
It's an alpha version.
There's one complaint I have the whole game. I have to bring one complaint, and it's not a complaint. It's a complaint that you can only fix in alpha and beta. Is that they still need some balancing, because those craft that you're riding on, some of them are overpowered. You can kill people easier, or the turrets. I think if they balance a little bit more, with that, it's not going to put as much damage on people, then they'll be better. But I mean, you can only tell that by seeing the way people react, the way people say stuff. So that's the only complaint, which that's amazing. That's the only complaint, which balancing takes time to balance a game. You need to see what it's like first. So
I would have agreed with you on that yesterday, but now today I started fucking around with the heavy weapons, and they changed the gameplay for me.
Really?
Yeah, as soon as you go and get heavy ammo and you can shoot like a rocket at one of those things, it takes it out in one hit, and they're done. It's crazy.
Yeah? Dude, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the thing about this game, right? It's like it's so.
Damn, Briar, you are so happy. That makes you feel so good. He's excited about this damn game.
It's awesome, man. It is. You have no reason not to be excited about this damn game. Wow. It's gonna be that damn good.
Can you leave the planet too?
Yeah, you can travel between Mars, Venus, Earth, and I think there the moon on there. Yeah, the moon.
Holy shit! Really?
Oh, Beastly, and it's split screen as well, so you can play split screen online with your ladies. Yeah.
Yo, 9 to 5.
5-year-old just came out of
I don't know if you guys saw this glitch I saw on YouTube, or maybe it was Twitch, but someone found out that, you know those grenades that they have where it sticks on stuff?
Yeah.
It sticks. Someone threw it on their foot, and it stuck, and he ran with it, because it won't damage you, and he ran with it on his foot, and he ran onto the person, it damaged people while he
like a suicide bomb?
That's awesome.
No,
that's awesome.
It doesn't kill you, though. Like, this thing, so he runs with it, and he's shooting them, and in case they kill him, it's still on his foot, it gets up too.
I heard that people were using the dancing mechanic in multiplayer to kind of peer around corners and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It zooms out to third person.
Oh, that's actually, I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Like you can use the dancing mechanic and see all the way around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it you? It was 9 to 5 Gamers, I think, that he started dancing and stuff, and then I'm like, I thought that he had my back or whatever. I turn around, he got shot. He's like, oh, I was dancing, man. I'm like, what are you doing?
I don't know, because I was trying to see if you get more points for capturing a flag while bugging, so I wanted to make sure that didn't work.
I'm trying to capture the flag. Next thing you know, I die, because this guy's doing the Carlton dance behind me. I'm like,
I'm so damn excited for Destiny now. Oh my god.
Oh my god!
I feel like I've just gotten a taste too, and I've been playing all weekend. Like that's the only thing I've been playing all weekend. I played what, Robbie? What did we play for? Like an hour or two?
Half an hour? No, Destiny? I think so.
Oh, it was only a half hour? Okay.
We played
I guess so. That makes sense.
My question for BriarRabbit: can we expect a Destiny withdrawal video?
Briar, I have a quick question. Like, you see how like strong these weapons are, and the level 8's the max? Can you imagine when you're level 20 and 30 how hard it's gonna be playing multiplayer?
Yeah, but you know what? Your armor's gonna be stronger too.
Yeah, I think that's why I think it's actually be more skill based. Once you literally level up, it's gonna be more skill based because you're gonna get some guns that are gonna do some damage too. So I feel like it's really gonna like evolve with you as you level up. It's really gonna get even more interesting in the game. You know, so I think that's gonna be pretty cool.
And I took that day off. I took that day off, so if anybody wants to get down, let me know.
Okay, I'm gonna schedule it off too. Wait, the beta or the actual release in September?
The release of the game. The release of the game. I'm taking that day.
Okay, I'll take that day off.
Let's do it.
I'll take it off. I'll take it off.
I'm down.
I think I might have mono that entire month.
If not, I have to. You know, I'm sick right now.
Now, in this world, is this game populated by all human players, or are there non-player character enemies?
There's there's non-players. There's tanks and like bad guys. There's multiple races of bad guys, and you got to discover their backstories and why they're there. And then there's this big fucking silver orb in the sky that they call the Traveler. You don't know what the hell that thing's doing there. And there's this stuff called the darkness that's filling the universe. You don't know what the hell that is. There's a ton of stuff to figure out.
And we went into this cave area. It was me, Briar, and Unreal. And we were going into this cave area.
Those guys you can't kill.
These guys you can't kill. They have question marks on them. You don't know how powerful they are. And Unreal's like, fuck it, I'm running through there. So he's like jumping. He's like jumping the whole way through the cave. And me and Briar are in the doorway watching him get there. And he got there, but then he died. So it's like, what was the point of that? But it's crazy.
That was my first experience with the game. I walked directly into that cave and got smashed. Level 0.
I feel so bad. I totally missed out on this. Oh my god.
It was amazing. So
all right,
good.
so we're running late, and I got one more thing I want to talk about. It's not E3 related, but I want to get this in before we end the show. So I've been thinking about this for a few weeks now. I kind of wanted to wait until we had everybody here, but we just never seem to have everybody here for the show. So I'm just going to start it tonight. What I propose, what I challenge you guys to, is the Beastly Thoughts Olympics. Everybody chooses one game. Every man chooses one game. Every man or woman, chooses one game. And we have a tournament. Let's say that Beastly wants to play Tekken. He has to choose a game that's $20 or less and is playable online. And then everybody gets a week to play to play each other in the tournament.
Okay.
At the end of the week, whoever has the most wins wins that tournament, and we move on to the next game. What do you guys think?
Sounds damn good.
I'm down.
So we'll all be playing the same game every week.
Yeah, I mean, we got to set some ground rules to, like, these games, it can't be like a PlayStation 1 game because nobody's got a PlayStation 1 that's hooked up, right?
I'm telling you right now, you guys better get your Tetris game up. I'm just saying. You better set that Tetris game up.
Probably
That's
Vita is off the table, but so either, let's say PlayStation 4, Xbox One, or Xbox. Well, not everybody's got an Xbox One, so probably PlayStation 4, PS3, and Xbox 360. That sound fair? Everybody's kind of got those, right?
Yeah.
Not 360, but other two.
Not 360. So we can probably figure out the games. We got to. We'll probably make a list up of the games, and we can post the videos up. A lot of trash talking videos, I feel like, could come of this. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And have like a tournament. Like everybody gets to choose a game. What do you guys think?
Question: does it have to be on that console specific? Or is it cross-platform, or it has to be the same way you played it, so it's fair?
My main concern is that everybody can get it. That it's not a super rare game, or it's not like for a console that nobody has.
If it's like a multi-plat, then that's fine.
Yeah, that's perfect. Because then it's
No
easier.
video games, not too nerdy. Okay.
And this game needs to be online.
Well,
game?
there's got to be some way to play it together, right?
Yeah. Okay. So they're all going to be online, either competitive, but it has to be competitive, and I'm down with that.
Wait,
Shit.
why don't we extend it further to see who gets? What if it's like a game? Like if I want to bring a game like Dark Souls 2 into it, who gets further? Like who
Like
gets
in
further?
one life, like
Further,
or
one life, one life or two life, like something like that, like where you could just go up there and see if you get further. Like you get a couple tries, maybe 4 tries, 5 tries, and see who gets further in those tries.
I like that. Then we don't even have to do like a video together, or we could have like everybody just watching on Hangout, each person play. That'd be actually pretty funny. I've never played that game, so I bet mine would be pretty quick.
I think I can make it pretty far with that. That's why I like it. All right, we'll do that.
Does it matter what version you have? Like, say you say Dark Souls, and I get the PC version versus like the PS4 version or
Probably
the Xbox
for something like that, it wouldn't matter, but it would definitely matter if it was like a competitive multiplayer game. Like,
Okay.
That's what I'm going to be picking every time. So I'm letting you guys know. Get ready to get your asses kicked.
Time out. I don't want a PC God mode like mod or something like that. You just walk around. Like, wait a second. How did he not die? He's floating. Wait a second.
hey guys, is that game available for Mac?
God mode.
Wait, Mac has games?
We got Myth. All right, so I think we should wrap it up, guys. It's 8:30. What do you think?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll get together. We'll start talking. Everybody start thinking about this idea, and maybe tomorrow or next week before the show, we'll kind of flesh it out. Everybody can start thinking about games they'd like to play. Any
we can do
caveats?
like a raffle to whoever picks the first game. And,
we can do that. Yeah.
And then that way, the first game will be known next week, and we can announce it to our viewers, and we can all pick it up.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I think it'd make for entertaining videos for our viewers to watch. It'd make for fun stuff for us to play, and I could just imagine the fun that it would be to.
One quick suggestion, though. One quick suggestion. You should have, for the one last game that we play, besides the ones that we pick, have all our viewers pick one, and we pick it out of the hat which one. Like,
That's a good idea. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Let them pick a game. So after we choose our games, then we say, well, these games can't be chosen, and let them choose a game for us to play, and we're going to compete against each other.
Isn't there a way to do like an online poll so we can like rally our subscribers to vote for the game we want?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is.
I feel like that's the way to go.
All right, so that would be the last one. We could do that for the last one, like.
I'm gonna start having to get the subscriber count up so I can win that. All right, guys. You want to talk about what you're gonna be up to for the next week, or you want to just end it?
Look at my TV screen. What's on there?
Last of
Is
Us.
that Haley Joel Osment?
Hey!
That actually kind of looks like The Walking Dead from here, to be honest with you. That really does, though, I'm not gonna lie.
The crappy PS3 one?
Yeah.
I got that shit. Don't tell me about wasting money, man. Yeah, I got that good. That's what I'll be playing all week, guys. You guys see me on PlayStation Network, the Real BC Gamer Dad, so I can kick that ass.
95?
I'm going to be picking up UFC, obviously, on Tuesday, so I'll be playing that chronically, probably do a big video on, like, customizing my character and making him and all that shit, so...
You going to try and make you, or are you going to try and make somebody else?
I always attempt to make me, and then I always have, like, a character that's, like, super overweight and has, like, weird tats all over his body and shit.
Is there an afro
How
option?
does that happen?
I don't know. There's all kinds of crazy
10% more chance of buying that game if there's an afro option. Not too nerdy. What are you up to next week?
I'm gonna be doing my pickups video. I'm gonna show that tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that series, man. It's kind of fun. I have a collecting gene that I suppress because I don't want to fill my house up with stuff that I'll never use. But I really enjoy it.
Dude, like the thing is that it started out rough today because it's Father's Day. I only found a couple garage sales. Then I stumbled across a flea market and I got some good finds in the flea market. So I'll show that. But I'm also gonna get the UFC game. So I'll 9 to 5 Gamers with his created. Like, actually, can you play created characters online now, or did they not?
Yeah, you can. You could in the last game, so I'm sure they're gonna push that over on this one.
I'm gonna try to return and create the guy that I created for the last UFC game, Undisputed 3, which is Hector Boom Boom Torado. I don't know why. That's the name that they gave me, Hector Boom Boom Torado. So let's see what we do. You know.
You just heard a new nickname, my friend.
Oh, God.
Robbie, what are you up to this week? Robbie, when are you going to start a YouTube channel, man?
I just don't really have the time to. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe I'll this
come
week.
on.
You never know.
Now, you heard what they said at the PS4 E3. You'll be able to upload directly from your
YouTube apps
console
coming.
to YouTube. So you can start your channel just like that.
So I'll be able to upload my ass whooping that I'm gonna give to Not Too Nerdy that fast.
That's how fast.
No.
Oh, damn. Show fired.
PS4, upload Boom Boom.
You're gonna get all kinds of crazy shit with that.
Oh.
Yo.
Hell yeah, boom boom boom.
Sometimes you say something and you wish you had.
Someone commented on that video that I had from like last year, and they said like, "Oh man, that Hector Boom Boom Torado is funny, a funny character." Literally commented like 2 days ago. I'm like, "Get ready for Boom Boom to make a return." He's coming out of retirement.
All right, guys, I'm gonna end it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Had an awesome time. Bye.
See you guys.
Hey, everybody.
Peace out.